Yo, what's going on, guys, man? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, bro. Over the weekend, on Saturday, something amazing happened. An upset occurred, right? Tim Tszyu got knocked out in 2-3 rounds. I mean, it was short and sweet, to the point, and it left a lot of people confused, asking questions, and these fickle experts already asking Tim Tszyu to retire, to change his team. These experts say these things. The same team that Tim Tszyu has had that built him all of this momentum from beating guys like Brian Mendoza, one of my favorite modern, tough, Gabriel Sato-like fighters, right? And went 12 rounds with Sebastian Fundora. Now, all of a sudden, everyone is panicking, pressing that nuclear button, and they want immediate, imminent change. Relax. So Tim Tszyu got his ass beat. And he continued to get his ass beat because he couldn't block the left hook, kept leaving himself wide open, never recovered. And so what? That was what makes boxing entertaining. That was an amazing performance from that IBF champion. I love that performance. I love upsets. No different from Anthony Joshua getting beat and knocked out by Andy Ruiz. These things happen. And a shocking performance in that manner, pretty much you'll remember that for this whole month. Then 2 weeks ago, Artur versus Bivol. If I tell you guys, what was your favorite round, your favorite punch sequence of Artur versus Bivol fight, the undisputed, the two fighters that were unblemished, undefeated, had legacy on the line, first ballot Hall of Fame calling, these guys didn't go for broke. It left so many questions of, oh, Bivol won by 1 round, Artur won by 1 round. Oh, it should have been a draw. It was competitive, but there really wasn't a clear-cut winner. You can slice it and dice it and pick your narrative of what you saw best. It was a decent chess match at best. Like, name me your favorite round versus Artur versus Bivol. To be honest with you, there is no legendary round. There's nothing. No guys were bleeding. There was no knockdowns. No one got knocked out. They fought the same way from round 1 to round 12. It was fucking mediocre, right? Now on Saturday, well, man, that was great. That was a blowout, right? And these things happen in the sport of boxing. Tim Tszyu doesn't have to get rid of his team, and he might need consultants. He might ask and poke questions around, but this is what happens when you fight tough fight after tough contender on the undefeated champion or whatever the case may be. This is what happens. You sometimes play yourself. Also this, folks, Tim Tszyu isn't a Canelo Alvarez. He's not a pound-for-pound fighter. He's not a multi-division champ. He's not unified. He hasn't been undisputed. Tim Tszyu is a good little fighter that has a lot to improve and a lot to experience in the sport of boxing. The first time he gets cut, well, I can't really say that, but the first time he sees blood on his face that affects him against Fundora, this dude panics. Lets me know that he doesn't really have tough sparring or is afraid of blood, right? It's like a bull. He sees blood, he panics and goes mad, loses his sense of direction, and he's like, oh man, I don't really know what to do. He suffered a little bit of a cut, and right when that cut happened, he started panicking again. He's like, oh, dude, he hit me with his glove. I'm bleeding. All Tim Tszyu has to really do is just fight guys like Keith Thurman, who's going to give you more credibility than beating this, Ukrainian, Eastern European champion that no one has ever heard of, and get your confidence back. Slow roll it like you were fighting guys like Terrell Gausha, and then slowly, marginally, you were moving up. Okay. Tim Tszyu has never really been that good. He's just a popular fighter in Australia, which, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but doesn't hold that much weight. I mean, okay, you're popular in Australia. Congratulations. And what? Is Australia known for amazing champions, pound for pound champions, global fighters in the history of the sport? I'm sure there's a few. What I'm trying to say is this: Tim Tszyu doesn't have to panic. He doesn't really have to try to reinvent the wheel, reinvent his style. He wants to be a throwback fighter, cool, be a throwback fighter. But which type of throwback fighter are we talking about? Because if we're talking about guys like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., well, he had fucking 90 filler fights. You can still be a throwback fighter and have tough fights, like in memorable moments like Meldrick Taylor, but go have 90 filler fights. And it starts with, you bouncing and beating dudes like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, looking to fight inactive fighters like Errol Spence. If you want to be and you want to make it in America, you got to beat American fighters and beat those dudes that are extremely inactive. That's all Tim Tszyu needs to do. Call out Jermell Charlo. See, these guys don't have precedence over you because then themselves are also forgotten. No one's talking about Keith Thurman. No one's talking about, really Errol Spence. No one's really talking about Jermell Charlo. Go call out those guys. Go fight those guys. Go fight a Brian Castano. That's where you get your confidence back. And you can sell that, I guess, on some type of pay-per-view on Marv Nation. That's what Tim Tszyu needs to do. It's not that complicated. It's pretty fucking easy, right? And here's this other point of view that a lot of people have in regards to, oh, he should have just stayed in Australia and been a champion and sell out pay-per-views there. Let me give you guys many examples why he shouldn't do that. And this is going to carry on to Naoya Inoue as well. Look at Manny Pacquiao. He's a global star, but he's an amazing big star in the Philippines. No one knew him until he came to America and started knocking out Mexican or American champions. That's the difference between being a big fish on a small pond in Australia and over there in Japan. But if you can do that same thing, but do it over here, you can get Manny Pacquiao status. Right? Shohei Ohtani, amazing baseball player for the LA Dodgers right now. Just going on Friday versus the Yankees. They're going to the World Series. He's a star in Japan. That same hype is even 100 times bigger than here in the United States. In Japan, he probably won't see a $700 million contract. He gets that in one, like pretty much here in LA, just like that. LeBron James, huge star in Cleveland, Ohio. Dudes brought them a championship, still went to LA, got all of these deals, made movies. That's the difference when you come to America. If you have the goods and you are great, then the world needs to see it and America needs to see it. That's it. It's that simple. Naoya shows me that he doesn't have the confidence to fight the big fucking badass names now where he has all the advantages in Japan. Doesn't have to travel, pays his sparring partners. He seems like a chachi. If you're that guy, if you're the next Pacquiao, then do what Pacquiao did. Do what Shohei Ohtani does. Do what Yamamoto does. Do what multiple fighters in the world have done, and that's what Tim Tszyu tried to do. And the reality is Tim Tszyu played his hand, and he just isn't that good. That's it. Now, it doesn't mean he can't make a career. Doesn't mean that he should retire. No, it just means that get your confidence back, rebuild, and go after it again. It ain't over until you say, no mas. I did my career. I created my legacy. I'm done. That's it. That's it. The Mexican G. Happy Tuesday, brother. Tim Tszyu was always and has always been overrated. I said this from the start. He was living off his dad's name. A lot of people hold that same remark. To a certain degree, the Mexican G, I agree with you. You know what? But guess what? So did Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's always been overrated, right? He wasn't that great from the start. He was decent, and he was living off his dad's name. And guess what? That's okay. I mean, that's why our parents bust their ass for, all of these years. So for us to have an inheritance and to be proud to be, oh, okay, I'm a Guerrero, I'm a Emiliano Vargas. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to carry on that torch and that legacy that my father created. My father leaves us to a house and a badass cars. I have to honor that, preserve that, and expound upon that. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? If I'm hype, cool, like that's good. I'm just trying to live up to my father's standards. I'm chasing ghosts. No way I'm going to be better than him. But you know what? At least I tried, and I think he'll be proud of me. But he'd be like, son, you got to bust your ass off, man. You got to honor this, my name. I get it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, none of that stuff that's not a problem to me. What my problem is stop trying to be like, boxing isn't made in America. I'm just talking about the establishment. Once you make it here as a foreigner, Manny Pacquiao status, Tyson Fury. He wasn't a big ass star over there in the UK, but when he started coming to America, started knocking out Deontay Wilder, boom, $100 million contract deals were coming from Saudi Arabia. That's the difference, Naoya. That's the difference, Tim Tszyu. If you want to be a big fish on a small pond in little Japan and little Australia, cool. Ain't nobody going to talk about it. Go sell your pay-per-views. It's cool. But the difference is that American hype machine, it's a different energy. It's a different pressure. And if you crack under pressure, Devin Haney, Errol Spence, all of these dudes, you're forgotten. But if you make that shit work, you get Alexander Usyk, about to make the next Creed movies, right? Probably going to come out in the next Jumanji, right? Canelo. That's why he come over here. Tyson Fury. Bro, you get put on this pedestal, statues are made. That's the difference. The Mexican G goes, but the Vargas boys, they actually have talent. Nah, man, I'm just giving you an example, bro. Like, I love the Vargas family, bro. Like, I'm not saying nothing bad. They do have talent. They do have the goods. And what I'm trying to say is, like, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, man. Those kids are on juice. Nah, I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking. Shane Mosley took designer drugs. Old boy, his son, the middleweight, also got caught with some steroids, man. I'm just joking, bro. I'm not even gonna go there. Adi Medi goes, man, what the happened? I'm not even too sure, brother. I'm not even too sure. I'm just saying with Emiliano, with Tim Tszyu, okay, bro, you got your ass beat. Cool. Now go fight Keith Thurman. I still want to see that fight. I still want to see you fight Errol Spence. Losers coming off, inactivity or whatever the case may be. Get your leg back. That's it. The storylines are tantalizing. Go still call out Jermell Charlo, the ex-undisputed champion at 154. Get your confidence back. Fight these guys like Brian Castano. Still go knock out Erickson Lubin. They're talking shit. Okay, cool. Talk more shit when you guys sign the contract to fight one another. And don't sulk in tears and just be like, actually, I just barely caught the reference, Adi Medi. What the fuck happened? What did I get hit with? That was a line from Tim Tszyu. That shit flew over my head, hook, line, and sinker. But I caught it back. But anyway, guys, before I get too animated, my opinions, they stick to like the wall, like fly on shit. Look. I gotta wait till the old boys and Drew and War Speed hop on, but I guess these guys are having technical problems and they gotta file after hours paperwork. Like, come on, bro. File your paperwork while you're working, not after hours, unless they're paying you for that time. You know what I mean? Like, that shit can wait. Boxing talk is very important here in these streets. But yeah, man, happy Tuesday to you, Adi Medi. Hopefully you guys are living good, living peacefully, and more importantly, healthy bodies, man. I can't stress the importance of good nutrition. Put the bag of chips away. That shit is veneno, bro. Those bag of chips, those hot Cheetos with lemon, tajin, and tapatio are gonna kill you, bro. Put some steaming beans, put a little bit of rice, put a little bit of cilantro, grind it out, man. push-ups, walk those dogs, do some sit-ups, wall planks, star planks. You don't need a gym membership. You just need a healthy mind and just be disciplined. Get away from that. Sugar, bro, diabetes, type 3, Alzheimer's, all that shit. The reason why we can't remember what we ate, 48 hours ago is the sugar, bro. I can't stress the importance of how these things are killing us. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about, man. He goes, what you mean? Play with myself? Oh, man. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do to, keep you a sane and happy man. Look, guys, more speed goes. Gents, allow me a few minutes. I'll give you 3. The fuck is this Adobe stuff, bro? I have not updated my computer since 2019, right? Like back in 2011, I bought a Microsoft Word deal with Excel and all of this stuff. Now everything's subscription based. Once I update my computer, you know what's gonna happen? All of my apps that I bought way back then, I have to pay a monthly subscription. Bro, what? And here's another thing. Local channels. So these fucking smart TVs, they don't come with local channels. They come with Samsung channels, right? And all of a sudden, these Samsung channels don't give you local channels, Fox, KION, CBS. So I download the Fox app, hoping they'll give me the local channels and the local news. They hit me with the dumb shit of, oh, what's your TV provider? What? What do you mean, bro? Back then, I had a big-ass TV, like with the hunchback thing and everything, and all I had was a little antenna with foil. I used to get 8, channel 8, 8.2, right? NBC, CBS, Fox, freaking CW, Vampire Diaries. I don't get none of that no more. Like, how smart can you fucking be if you can't even give me the local streams? This world, bro. This world. In the military, guys like Ted Williams, right? Pete Rose, when they served in all of these things, they were allowed to play baseball and box in the military. We don't have that no more. Fellas, they don't have that no more. What the flip is going on? Go out there and vote. Go out there and vote. You guys got to vote for these changes, man. This is crazy. We need real leaderships out there. Anyway, salute to you, Tim. You got your ass beat. So what? I still want to see you fight all of these dudes. I love your fighting style. I love the way that you try to pander to the Americans and try to fight on this soil. But fight Keith Thurman. Don't fight Eastern European dudes that are undefeated. And no one's going to give you credit for you to beat him. If you beat him, well, you're supposed to beat him. This dude went, the distance with Artur Ukarov, right? But if you knock out Keith Thurman, shit, the whole state of Florida is going to be following you. You go after beat Thurman and you knock out Errol Spence, the whole state of Texas is going to love you. You get what I'm saying? He's playing his hand wrong. Again, throwback fighters had filler fights. Many of the legends had filler fights. Tim Tszyu, you want to be a throwback fighter? Cool. Give yourself the respect to have filler fights. Canelo Alvarez, I think a lot of people would say that more or less he's a really great fighter, undisputed. He had filler fights. Liam Smith, Chavez Jr., Amir Khan, James Kirkland, Perro Angulo. Amazing highlight reels. Tim Tszyu, do yourself a service. Go that path, my brother. That's all I got to say. You see these guys right here, man, because, I think I had everything I got to say. My lives are really short and to the point, and 20 minutes in, thank you guys for giving me 20 minutes of your ear, and hopefully I didn't fill it with bad filler and bad omens. Adi Medi goes, man, you sound just like Speed. Listen, gentlemen, Tim Tszyu, he's bouncing back from the head. No, man, he does that crazy old voice. It's hilarious, man. The Mexican G goes, eating healthy is hard. Candy is my favorite thing. No joke, the Mexican G, I can't leave the alcohol. I don't drink, but I do some scante on accusations. But let me. I like that. I like that comment, man. That was funny. Yo, what the fuck? You got my ass. Look, man, eating healthy, you'll be surprised the Mexican G is not hard. It's actually cheaper, more affordable, and it does you wonders. So last year, I weighed 220 pounds. I've never weighed that much, bro. I used to box and fight like at 126, 130 pounds. I did myself dirty, bro, for 4 years in just COVID, just because I fell in the love bubble, and it was just like going out, dinner, this, eating late out, and just like puppy love stuff. And long story short, it was just bad eating habits, and I didn't work out. Big mistake. And all I'm gonna say is this year I've dropped 30 pounds. Thank you guys. And all I did was just substitute. Let's say I love eating a burger or a chicken sandwich. You know what? At night, boom, nothing at 8 p.m. I got myself from Costco some Honey Crisp apples. Boom. That's essentially my breakfast. You know what I mean? And it was much cheaper this way and this route and being disciplined with like rice, tilapia, and frijolitos and some quesito fresco and some quesadillas than it was with fucking all of those late night foods, bro. And I'm gonna tell you this. Eating healthy is not boring though. Chicken, broccoli. No, you can eat your carne asada. But this is another thing that I'm going to tell you. If you're going to eat something heavy, eat it for breakfast, bro. Eat it for breakfast. So like me personally, I like to have a heavy breakfast in the morning. I like to eat my dinners essentially for breakfast. If I'm going to eat carne asada and a burger, I want it in the morning. That shit will satisfy me throughout the whole day and trip out. I'll just be snacking, drinking water, my Gatorade. I love Gatorade. And I love my chips, but I just substituted the chips. It's not that same crunch and salt that I love, but I just got a juicy apple and some orange juice. You know what I mean? And I just played my hand like that. Nah, not Herbalife. That thing's expensive. You know what I mean? Just water, bro. Just water. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't ate chips until Friday. And when I ate on Friday, and I love me like Munchies, Hot Cheetos, whatever the case may be. My favorite is Doritos with lemon and tapatio, just the regular ones. And the food, the chip, you can almost taste the fakeness. It's like when you remain abstinent, right? Wrong. It's like when you haven't been drinking Coca-Cola or any sodas, then all of a sudden, you go a month, 2 months without drinking soda, and then you're at that party and you drink that Sprite, it te arde la garganta, bro. Like it burns that throat. That's that same thing when I was getting with like cheap food. You can taste the fakeness. Anyway, hold on. I'm just, Speed, mic check real quick, bro. Your mic is off.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2, homie Ricky. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, brother. How you been, man?
Yeah, I've been all right, man. Thank you very much for the invite. I bet I sound quite different because I'm not using my headpiece. So here I am holding a device right up to my mouth like an idiot instead of just using modern technology. But unfortunately, I had to purchase a new mobile device. Um, Maybe for 15 years now I hadn't held an Apple device, and now I was forced to about a month ago. And the stupid thing, you would think that technology advances and makes things easier for you. In fact, this phone does not come out with an aux out, so that I cannot hook up
Yo, hold on,
a
hold on, hold on. Adi Medi goes, I'm gonna go on the Tim Su diet. Just eat nothing but left hooks from now on. Dog, that's fucking hilarious. So I
he's
had to
fuck.
catch you out because that joke was too good. You were talking
No
about your
man, that
headphones and the
last
orange
time
juice already. Come on, bro. That's your intro, man. Come
on
on.
the last
You so
live, he was saying
foolish.
so many funny stuff that I had to mute myself and laugh in the background because you guys were talking you in dream, and I was like chuckling the whole time because I was reading all of the comments. I was like, man, this guy is. Do you know who Ronnie Dangerfield is? Do you know that actor? He's a comedian. He's a one liner type of guy.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
Oh man, he's that guy who used to say he would end his jokes like, "Oh, I don't get no respect." Like, I no one respects me or whatever. Well, that guy is like that, man. He says the most clever one-liner jokes and he just kills it every time. But anyways, um yeah, man, thank you very much for that invite. I hope everybody here is doing well. Good even fall to the Mexican G. Good even fall to Arimeri. Good evening fall to you, homie Ricky. And of course, I hope that the Mexican G has been doing well. I know he made some big power moves in order to take control of his life and become a bit more sovereign in his decisions and the way that he moves in his everyday life. So I've been Wishing him the best. I hope all of us here can throw up a Vulcan salute and wish that gentleman there, um, uh, you know, uh, great health and prosperity. So yeah, no, man, homie Ricky, did you already address what took place over the weekend? The
Man, I
complete.
talked about everything, man, and
What do you mean everything?
I was already done. Like I was just like I was done, bro. Like I said my piece. Yeah, but I addressed it, man. You
So you're
know,
talking about Tim Sue?
Tim Sue, man, he got his ass beat. So what?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, so what? No, that's a very healthy way of looking at it. That's absolutely a very healthy way of looking at it, right? And I think that's proper that you mention it like that, right? Because we have become accustomed to being fan of man, right? And I understand it.
I'm
When we
never a
look,
fan of man, bro. What is this?
well, so you've never had an affinity for a Marquez, Juan Manuel Marquez fight. You never just always cheered him on in order to win. You never wanted him to take out decisively Manny Pacquiao. You never wanted I don't know who's your favorite fighter, bro. I don't even know.
Favorite, yeah, favorite fighter is Juan Manuel Marquez. You
Well,
know
there
what I
you go.
mean?
You never had an affinity for the guy in order for him to become victorious all the time. There's reasons why you become fan of man. I'm not trying to hold that against the world of fanaticism. No, these guys provide us great value and entertainment for our
Yeah,
everyday lives. They're very inspirational individuals. I understand the attachment, right? And when we look at somebody like Tim Sue, right? The son of a legendary fighter, I believe a Hall of Famer, one of my favorite fighters when I was a kid or much younger, right? Because it was not like I was a newborn or something. He was he was he had the rat tail before the Texans and the people up north in California had the rat tail, right? So this guy was very Tim Sue is the son of that legend, right? And Tim Sue, unlike most other boxers out there that have fathers that are legendary Hall of Famers like Shane Mosley and um, what's his name, Chavez Jr. This guy really was doing great moves in and of himself by himself in his own style, right? Yes, he resembles his father a lot, like a man, like a. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to be vulgar, but yeah, it looks like he pooped him out because he looks so identical to the guy, right? But Tim Sue was one of the most exciting, potentially uh, great fighters in the sport right now, right? A guy who is not afraid to travel the world over in order to attain the belts, open up markets, develop his renown over the world. That's the kind of fighters that we need, unlike American fighters, right? The American boxer who's always just comfortable fighting at home, making sure he always has home field advantage and all of those things. Nary ever taking the risk of traveling abroad to destroy a champion, right? We had Terence Crawford and I believe Errol Spence did the same thing. They went to the UK and they became champions over there, right? Ricky Burns was one, and Terence Crawford went over there and I think he beat what's his name, Kell Brook. But long story short, it's a rarity when we have an American fighter to go abroad, and this guy was doing that. In fact, one of the reasons why it is so disappointing to see the defeat, the downfall of Tim Sue is because he tried so hard to impress the United States of America. This guy really tried so hard to open up a dying market. Now, I missed your intro. I missed whatever you said. I'm pretty sure you probably said that America is the land of milk and honey and that, you have to come over here to become a superstar. Manny Pacquiao did it. I don't know what else you probably said, right? Marquez did it. That's all true. But
Canelo did it. Tyson Fury did it. Loma, Usyk, all of these guys that are essentially on the pound for pound list. Bivol did it. Imagine if Bivol stayed in fucking Russia or wherever he's from, right?
true,
In the
true. No,
Eastern
it's true.
Bloc.
It's
And let's
true.
say he never brought his talents over here. Guess what? He's never fighting Canelo. Guess what? He's never fighting Zurdo. And look how glamorous that's done for his career. No, Oya, anyway, congratulations, dude. Your best fight is against Nonito Donaire, a dude three, times removed from his prime since Guillermo Rigondeaux. right? Beating Frenchmen like Dubali and stuff like that, right?
No, no, no.
That's Naoya's
Look,
best
and that's
performance.
true, and that's
That's
true,
who has
without a
beat
doubt.
him.
Without a doubt, I'm not trying to necessarily say that the potentiality to be great in the good old U.S. of A. is not there. I'm not saying that you cannot come over here to Las Vegas, the land of sin, and make yourself a cool meal. I'm not trying to say that. It's just that.
Wait. Let me hold on. So let's say Naoya came over here into Philadelphia and he knocked out Stephen Fortin in front of Philadelphian fans. Philadelphian fans. And say he knocked him out there. And then people are like, oh, dude, that's some bullshit. So then they give Gary Russell. And Naoya Inoue knocks out Gary Russell Jr., right? And then they're like, oh, man, this is some BS. Let's throw in there Jeremiah Bell or Oshaki Foster. And let's say Naoya Inoue knocks those dudes out, right? And then they're going to be like, all right, dude, here's our ultimate boss, Tank Davis. Naoya goes, all right, I'll fight Tank Davis. I'll fight him at 130. And let's say Naoya knocks out Tank Davis, right, at 130. Because Tank wasn't that good at 126. Naoya would beat Tank at 126 or at 130 when he fought, what's that Puerto Rican kid? Pedraza. I think Naoya would beat him, right? Let's just say. Because that Tank Davis isn't the Tank Davis that we see now with, like, he was, non-committed to the sport. He was doing all of these things, kissing Adrian Broner. Like, Naoya would have beaten his ass. But let's say Naoya did that. You know what that would have done to Naoya's career?
What I'm trying to say is, look,
That's all I'm
homie Ricky, you
saying.
don't even have to go that far. You don't even have to go that far. There's already a very small, diminutive fighter that's a top 10 fighter that is moving a lot like Naoya Inoue, and probably, in fact, beating better champions than him, and he's not getting the credit. He's not filling up theaters. He's not making the multi-millions. Can you guess who that is?
Bam Bam.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
He's an
so
American
let's talk
fighter
about that. So
beating.
let's talk
He's
about
an
that.
American fighter beating
Right.
the four champions.
But let
Now,
me tell
so
you
what I'm
this.
trying to tell you is this: there are people. There are
Wait,
people that recognize.
let me address
You
that.
just interrupted me. You just interrupted me. I'm the
I
one who
have
pointed
to.
out Bam Rodriguez, and you're trying to cut me off because you know where I'm going, right? I'm trying
No.
to get you to understand that the American market is a necessary. When you can make power moves in the comfort of your own home without necessarily having to travel abroad and make millions and make yourself a name in other parts of the world without necessarily having to do that. We know that Anthony Joshua did it without America. We know that Naoya Inoue did it without America. We know that Tim Tszyu was doing it without America. What do those guys have in common? Well, except for Tim Tszyu, but those other two fighters, guess what? They are from abroad, and they've only had one or two fights here in the U.S. Every other success, every other accomplishment that they achieved was in the exclusive of their involvement in the U.S. market. Now, as an American, I want these guys to come over here, right? But what I'm trying to get at is this: when I think about the U.S. market, I think about how spoiled we are, but yet we don't support our fighters, right? I think about how we always stream fights. I think about an undisputed fight between Jermel Charlo and Brian Castano and the hub of Chicanos and the hub of Mexican Americans and a place that should be excited to have these kind of fights, the City of Angels, right? They go over there and fight on the rematch. The rematches are way bigger than the first go around. They went over there to the City of Angels. Guess what? Have a packed arena,
Okay, so let me
right?
address
Right?
every single one of those points. So
Wait, wait,
starting
wait,
with
wait, wait,
Bam Bam.
wait, 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 wait. So
Because
what I'm
you're
trying,
going on
okay,
four
and
different
then
points, my guy. Four
what?
different
How
points.
many fights of the years? How many fights of the year contenders have you seen where they have given out tickets? Tim
That's a
Sue,
PBC
Tim
production, though,
Sue,
bub.
Tim Sue got his behind whooped in a place that only sold 300 tickets and
PBC
everything else.
production.
It has nothing to do. But homie Ricky, what I'm trying to tell you is this: it
It
has
has
nothing to do with the
everything to do with it,
production.
my guy.
It has nothing to do with the
No, wait.
production.
So hold on.
Wait up.
Let me address a
Listen?
couple of
Do
points.
you do you, look? do you only go to a venue because of the production? Like for example, if you were gonna go watch Tim Tszyu fight Bakram Murtasaliev, were you gonna go over there because of the light show? You don't even know what to expect. You're
No, I'm
supposed
just
to
saying
go
it's a
because of the names. You're
it's
supposed to go because of the stakes, and they didn't feel it.
No, I'm talking about. All right, so let's talk about this. All right. So first and foremost, with Bam Bam Rodriguez, Bam Bam, when he's beating those dudes, he's barely 21, 22 years old. We're barely getting to hear of him. I think he only has like 9 fights. What's Bam Rodriguez's record? 13-0. Does this guy have over 20 or 30 fights like Naoya? Is he really young? Bam Bam is barely starting. So he's beating the legends of that weight class that weren't necessarily popular fighters. Like Carlos Cuadras is not a popular fighter. He's not even nowhere near Nonito Donaire level. Maybe Chocolatito, Bam Bam hasn't fought him. So Rugvinside is really not known. Where he's from, let's say Taiwan, or I'm not too sure where exactly what state, country that he resides in, but he's not really known, and he changed his name, so it wasn't like Short Rungvisai. It's like some other stuff now, or I got it backwards, whatever the case may be, right? So what I'm trying to say is, Bam is in one of those little divisions where it's very hard to really follow him, because a lot of people discriminate against the smaller little fighters. That's just what it is. It's very difficult for people to have sympathy and and capture the hearts and minds of those under 109 pounds. Only even when Chocolatito was the co-main event of Triple G, people didn't really like, oh yeah, Chocolatito. No, that was just the Nicaraguan fan base. So what I'm trying to say is, it's very difficult to establish a great rich history on those divisions that, even though they have amazing history, it's not really been known to the whole world. Right now,
That's
Bam.
the problem, though. You're saying the
Hold on.
whole
But
world.
that just comes with, again, the heavyweight division is a popular division because of stellar knockouts. These guys throw 1,000 punches and don't ever really sleep people, right? When the heavyweight division, boom, and that dude's on skates and that dude's flying out of the ring. You get what I'm saying? So these are things that you have to understand, that it's very difficult to sell if these guys are throwing 1,000 punches, and then you start thinking to yourself, well, how come their faces don't really look all blemished and messed up? Where's the knockouts, right? It's very difficult to get it, because is it fair to say that they possibly don't hit like strong men? I don't know. It's very difficult to sell. So that's the issue with Bam Rodriguez. As he moves up in weight, maybe the tides will change, and he fights guys like Junto Nakatani and all of these guys that are somewhat popular and have a name and some status. Then if he starts sleeping them like Manny Pacquiao was doing, guys like David Diaz, and knocking down guys like Miguel Cotto, then it's going to really inspire at the featherweights 122, 126 divisions. Okay, so that's the Bam Bam Rodriguez. Now let's go to Anthony Joshua making it in the UK, and Naoya making it over there. Okay, first and foremost, Anthony Joshua, we've already addressed this. This dude had a machine, right? This dude had a machine in the UK, starting with the
Here we go with the machine.
fake gold medal
Yeah,
that he
here
won
we
against
go
the
with the
Cuban.
fake gold
It starts
medal.
with that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah,
It
yeah.
literally starts with that. So the UK gave a lot of corruption and funded the AJ pipeline. And again, who got AJ his first title in pole? Oh, an American, Charles Prince Martin, who PBC tried to make into a star that wasn't, and then essentially sold him off for 5 to 6 million. So what I'm trying to say is, with Naoya, he paved his own way.
Yeah, that's funny though. Wait up. That's funny that you mentioned that. The PVC tried to make Prince Charles Martin somebody, and they couldn't. And guess what?
Because he's not that
The
good, bro.
machine behind Anthony Joshua was able to do it. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to tell you is this: the American market
And then there
is
was one
flooding
last
a lot of the
issue.
fighters. The American market is flooding a lot of the fans, and in fact, the fans are failing themselves because if you cannot get hyped up for a championship fight, and you need the production value, then you're already a spoiled brat. You're already an undeserving fan of this sport that shouldn't even get these kind of shots. Bro, I know of fights that take place at the Copper Box over there in the UK between no names. These guys are prospects, and they fill up 8,000 people venue.
Hold
Why
on.
does the UK do that? Why does Japan do that? Why does Australia do that? Because they love the sport and they love to support these fighters. What do Americans do? Oh, well, they're not big. Their punches don't hurt. I don't know who they are. right? And guess what?
So
These other boxing fans around the world, they either don't care because they're all about the sport. They just want to have some action, and they don't necessarily care about the names. And
so let's
even
talk
when they
about
do,
that.
we can always say that they know every name. That's why they show up. The funny thing is about everything, right? Is that everybody clamors about a three-peat between Wilder and Fury. Guys that never accomplished nothing, right? Okay, that's great. But then maybe they filled up a stadium, maybe 10,000 people, right? 2 weeks ago, we had Frazier Clark fighting
Wait,
off
hold on. Before you,
Fabio
because you're
Warner.
going off on some other stuff, you haven't even
What I'm
talked
trying to
about
tell
Tim
you is
too.
this. What I'm trying to tell you is
Hold
this.
on.
You value the American market base as if it's meaningful. I'm telling you, it's only meaningful when you can make it big. And these guys are
So,
already big. Tim
so hold
Sue,
on. Let's talk
Tim
about
Sue
this.
wasn't big. He
So
should have stayed
hold
over
on.
there in
Wait,
Australia.
hold on. So let's talk about a couple of things of this Cooper Town that they have in the UK and how 8,000 people show up and show out. For some reason, these American promoters or whoever's promoted in America, they do this stupid thing where, for example, let's talk about your Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano, dudes that are not even from here, California. Why are you having Jermell Charlo fight in California? Take that fight to Houston. Take that fight to DeSoto. Take that fight to Dallas, where his native Texans can go out there and support him. Californians don't really rock with the Charlos like that. Okay, so that's the biggest mistake. Again, PBC production and matchmaking and venue selection. They're idiots. Eddie Hearn, look what he did with Boots Ennis, and when Boots fought Karen or his last fight, he took him to Philadelphia. I mean, to me, that's almost revolutionary because, like, a lot of these promoters in America don't do shit like that. Let's say Lou DiBella has George Kambosos. If I'm Lou DiBella, I'm fighting George Kambosos in Australia. I'm not going to try to sell him to Californians. If I'm promoting Teofimo Lopez, a New Yorker, and he resides in Florida, I'm not going to take him to Minnesota. It's fucking stupid, right? Now, what I'm trying to say is that's why they sell those tickets, because let's say Eli Scottney is, from, I don't know, whatever, let's say Scotland. I guarantee you that promoter is going to showcase her there. In or around her hometown. I don't think they're going to take her to California or sell her to Florida. It wouldn't make sense, right? For some reason, these American promoters do stupid shit like that. All right. Eddie Hearn does it multiple times as well, but he understands a little much more and is like, all right, dude, this dude resides in Philadelphia. That's where his name is. That's where his fan base. Easily plug in him. I can plug in him there at the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium, and boom, 50,000 people will show up if I make the tickets $25, $35, $45. If I try to make those tickets 10,000 and he's not fighting another Bud Crawford, I can't do that. So for some reason, the Americans do stupid shit like that. I don't know why. Mainly PBC, like taking Tim Sue and fighting an Eastern European undefeated dude, and let's say he takes him to the Armory in Minneapolis. It's like, bro, they're not even from there. Like, what are you doing? Is Minnesota a big boxing town? No. Like, where's the logic reasoning behind that? Why didn't you take it to Eastern Europe countries over there for that IBF champion? It's like not revolutionary, it's just common sense. And boxing, why you say like, oh, they don't do that like in Cooperstown or whatever they're doing in the UK. Again, in the United States, where speed goes, dang, I lost connection, hopping back on. So in the United States, competition, you're going up against football, you're going up against baseball, hockey, basketball, all of these things. Boxing takes a back burner to it. In the UK, there's only like 3 major sports that it's like really popping like that. So it's simple. So that's to answer your ridiculous questions about your ridiculous statements. Just joking. Mic check real quick, bro. You there? Your mic's off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you lost connection because you're getting your ass handed and eating these left hooks like Tim Sue. But look, man, it's pretty simple. Now talk about Tim Sue before you go into Frazier Clark and Steve Rolls, dude. Some freaking dudes. Tim Sue got beat. Okay, he got beat badly, and it was sweet, nice to the point. He ate vicious left hooks, jabs, 1-2s, got dropped by a 1-2-1, looping hands. Was that a result of what? That the other fighter, Chuchnekvin, was that amazing? Or was it just the incompetence of Tim Tszyu, the incompetence of his corner and the ref and the doctor for not stopping the fight? Or was it just what happens and the things that we love about the sport of boxing?
So in my opinion, homie Ricky, it really starts with the management, right? I mean, you might be like, what? How is that going to be part of it, right? When your manager or your promoter, whatever, is actually helping you get a title shot after having just suffered a defeat. That's incredible. That's political power that you want your promoter or your manager to have, right? Great. But the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to develop a champion, if you're trying to develop a career, you have to understand whether or not your fighter is up for it, right? It's not just necessarily the chance. You have to understand whether your fighter is ready for that opportunity. Now, we know that Tim Tszyu has been at championship level for a while now. At least he fought for a championship in Sebastian Fedorov, right? So we can't say, oh, well, he's not ready for it now, right? But you have to also understand one thing: the defeat that he took, as courageous, as outstanding, and as hard fought as it was still a defeat. And when you when you get defeated, especially for your very first time, you should allow yourself an opportunity to not only redeem yourself and get back on the winning streak. You should allow yourself a confidence fight, right? Because you don't know what defeat feels like. You don't know how hard it is to overcome it. You don't know if you're mentally prepared to become a winner once again, right? So I think the very first thing that they should have done in Tim Tszyu's corner is that they should have allowed him an easy fight, a confidence fight. Not necessarily go against an undefeated fighter that had 22 and 0, 16 knockouts that you don't have much footage on, right? Because those are slippery. Those are the banana peels. They're the slippery fighters that are gonna get by you, get by the sanctioning bodies, get by every other fighter because there's
Has a
not much out
78%
there.
knockout ratio. Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying.
He had a 22 and 16 knockouts, if I'm not
I don't know why
mistaken.
people are shocked.
What is it?
I don't know why people are shocked.
Well, it's not that. Again, the reason why people are shocked is because of the ignorance of the American boxing fan, right? That's where it boils
What?
down to. You think the Chechens, you think the Russians, you think they were surprised? You think the Eastern Europeans, the Baltic regions, all those people, they were surprised? No, this guy probably has a great amateur experience. Obviously, he's been taking out fighters by knockout. He's undefeated, and there's not much footage out there, right? But guess what? There's a lot of footage on Tim Tszyu. There's a lot of people that can actually prepare for a fighter like Tim Tszyu. There's not that many people that can train for a fighter like Bakram Murtazaliev. But you should have already smelt that this was trouble, right? When you know that he's fighting with Habib, whatever, that other crazy old Russian that destroys everybody, and I think he destroyed Conor McGregor and finished his career, right? When you know that they're sparring those kind of guys, how hard they are, you have to understand it. You're not gonna walk in there and motion into a win, right? You really have to prepare yourself for the unexpected. And I don't think Timmy prepared himself. Everything that Timmy was doing, everything that he was saying right at the buildup, he was thinking about past this guy. He was thinking about the apparent promise of $38 million offered by Turki Ali Sheikh should he become victorious and if he would take on a Terence Crawford fight. That's what he was looking at. He was looking at the future. He was looking past his fighter. Who is responsible for getting him good sparring? The trainers. Who's responsible for getting him in those opportunities? The manager, he's supposed to sign. He's supposed to be able to get him over there. The promoter is going to put him in positions where both of them can make money. And everybody failed him because this fight was not the one to make him money. The venue where it took place in Florida, which is not a big boxing town, a place that had just suffered two consecutive hurricanes, So people were still trying to rebuild, people trying to like clean up the mess around their home. They were gonna show up, right? Everything was set up to look like like a slippery slope, a place that you don't want to be in. Unfortunately, nobody in Tim Sue's corner was smart enough to figure those things out, and they really thought that they were just gonna mosey on in there. They thought that they were gonna come over here to America, make themselves a star in the cheap, that Americans even cared about this fight, and they don't because they're foreigners, and it was all a loss. It starts at the managers, it starts at the trainers because, bro, this guy came and exploited every single frailty, every single fault of Tim Sue. Tim Sue doesn't move his head. Tim Sue walks in a straight line, and when he steps back, he keeps his head high. Tim Sue has this tendency to keep his right hand low. It was incredible. And I don't know if nobody ever saw those things before because Tim Sue was just clearing everybody apart from his way to the top. But bro, this guy
No,
capitalized on every single mistake.
but there's a lot of reasons why Tim Sue got beat like that. So Tim Sue likes to catch and parry a lot of shots. He doesn't roll with the punches. You know, he doesn't move his head. He doesn't really bend at the waist. He's not necessarily slick and bounces on his feet like a Bivol or Mikey Garcia, right? He doesn't run like Shakur and Edwin de los Santos. Tim Sue is there to get hit, right? The thing is, the people that he's been fighting, guys like Carlos Ocampo, Sebastian Fundora, his context of inactivity coming off a 1-year layoff, you know, shooting his shots down and things of that nature, or even Brian Mendoza, these guys aren't Bakram Mortazaliev. Okay, Bakram, he's your traditional 1-2 left hook type of fighter. Now he might have those amazing arsenal and tools when he goes to the body. He didn't really have to show that. He might have beautiful uppercuts. He might have to bounce. He didn't have to do that. He was a traditional just 1-2-3, boom. He can change it from 2-3. He can go 3-2. He can go 1-2-1. Those type of sequences were all effective. He didn't need to showcase anything else. And if this became a pissing contest of who can beat stronger, right? Well, Bakram was extremely confident in his ability. And not only that, Tim Sue was landing good punches. Bakram was taking it well, right? Tim Sue got hit with a left hook when he was about to throw his right. Boom! He didn't see it coming, as he didn't see the next 75 shots that bounced off his head. Kind of like Devin didn't really recover 30 seconds into the left hook. These things happen in the sport of boxing, and that's why it's amazing when they do.
That's true, actually. That's true.
It in, okay? Yep. Again, Tim Sue can be like, dude, what the fuck just happened? I think the whole world has that, like, the questions, like, what the hell happened, Tim? We normally don't see that occur to you because he normally doesn't get hit by those type of punches. When he fought Brian Mendoza, it was a really one-sided fight.
Yeah, it was very good. He was very clearly dominant. He was
tossing Brian Mendoza like a rag doll, essentially. But Brian Mendoza showed tremendous fighting spirit and perseverance, mental toughness and grit of like, he had his typical fighting style, and then he started doing shoulder rolls. Then he started surviving with slipping punches, showing you a different third and fourth look. He was doing everything that he could, right? The Philly shell, shoulder roll defense, just to stop Tim Sue and this onslaught of punches. And then like in the 10th or the 11th, he landed some punches in between. He had a warrior spirit, and he was never going to back down. But it was a really one-sided.
But then again, even Timmy was like that.
Wait, just like Fundora was beating the hell out of Brian Mendoza until that left hook from nowhere just landed, boom, when Fundora was just being a little reckless, right? About to throw an uppercut from way low, and boom, just got caught, never saw the punch. Look what happened with Tim Sue. He immediately flipped it, stuck to his jab, fought much smarter. We'll see if Fundora can do the same thing with Spence. He should be able to. You know, Spence, there's a lot of question marks in his career that is just like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you fighting Fundora? Guy who's 6'7". Why aren't you calling out Keith Thurman? You didn't fight him at 146, 147, knock his ass out at 154. Anyway, the point remains is this, right? Tim Tszyu has really never been that great. He's a good fighter, and he will continue to be a very good fighter, and he's going to be and continue to be very entertaining, and he's going to win, and he's going to lose. And he might lose in that fashion if he doesn't tighten up his defense. I love the fact that he throws a lot of punches and goes for the gusto and tries to fight tough back-to-back, undefeated top 10, top 5 fighters in that weight class. It's great. Continue to do so. Just tighten up your shit and realize that sometimes you're going to have to implement the jab a little more and stick behind it rather than left hooks and uppercuts. Because guess what? That's in the pocket, and you can't block everything in the sport of boxing. It's very difficult.
So let me ask you, homie Ricky. So what went wrong, bro? Because I mean, everybody really got caught by surprise. This guy was the 7-1 favorite against Bakram. And I mean, to tell you the honest truth, look, the only reason it surprised me, right? Because I actually believe anything in the sport of boxing is possible. What is that? The idiom that boxing is a sport of a puncher's chance. I actually believe in that. And in fact, these type of fights are the type of fights that I love. The upsets, the surprises, the things that defy logic or expectation. I love these kind of fights. But it really caught me by surprise because I don't think I'd ever seen Bakram Murtazalia fight ever. And I'm sure that there is fights there. I'm sure that somebody has footage and highlights. I didn't have time to watch any of them. In fact, I wasn't even going to watch this fight because I'm not subscribed to Amazon Prime, right?
Because you went to a party. Tell the truth.
Yeah. I went to a party, but because I also don't have Amazon Prime, I know you do, so I could have watched the fight. But this was one of my uncles'.
You could have watched the fight, but you chose to go to a party. I don't want to hear these excuses. You left your brother to go to a party to not watch the fight.
Yeah. But you know what? But we were able to watch it over there on a Verizon device, right? So
let me answer your question in regards to.
Wait. What are you talking about? I'm the one who told you what happened. You
asked me before you.
What are you talking about? I called you.
My guy.
Bro.
You asked me what the hell happened to Tim Tszyu, and then you went on and rambling that you didn't.
No.
Let me answer that question.
That's crazy. I remember you weren't even watching it. I called you and I go, bro, what the hell happened? And then, sorry about the curse words, guys. I said, what the hell happened? Oh, sorry about that. I said, what the heck happened? And then you go, what? And I go, bro, you didn't see the fight. And then you go, wait, let me watch. You weren't even watching it, bro.
That's true. No, I didn't watch it live. I was playing on the PlayStation 5 a video game called Days Gone. All right, that's what I'm grinding this game because I love
excuses, bro.
These story games. No. This is what happened. So once you flaked out on me, I was just like, I guess I'll just watch it when you guys show back up at the house. But since you guys left, I was like, all right, let me just go on my nerd shit and play video games. But no, this is what happened in regards to Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
The height and the arm length of Bakram. All right. The dude had like a 73, 74 arm length. Tim Tszyu has like a 68. So typically,
what about Fondoras?
When he's shooting, Fondora's like, I don't know, fucking like 83. That dude's a fucking tarantula, bro. I don't know.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with arm length.
No. Arm length and the angles of traditional punches that were going around the guard that Tim Tszyu was like, why the fuck am I getting hit with these shots that I normally don't get hit with? Because he thinks he's in his safe comfort range zone and they're still looping around his guard. And he's just like, oh, dude, I got to get my lick back. So he starts to open up a little more, load up a little more. And this dude is just nice and poised, nice and tight. Boom, boom, bah. And they're just looping and hitting him. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So as he starts to open up a little more, boom, nice little check left hook, rings his whole shit. And that's exactly what happened. Fondora doesn't really throw traditional punches because he's 6'7", fighting guys who are like 5'8", 5'11". So this dude's, jabs are essentially like they're aiming downwards. He's punching down. So his uppercuts are essentially like an up jab. You get what I'm saying? So he leaves himself so exposed. If you can fucking Superman leap up into the air and catch him with a hook, right? So they're not traditional punches. It's easy to block chopping down hands. It's hard to avoid those uppercuts and get around that long ass jab because the dude's 6'8". but the angle of the punches is what caught Tim Tszyu off. And the fact that, he's like, no, I'm here, but they're still wrapping around his guard. And then he felt like, man, I'm getting hit with some punches way early than I would like. So it starts to open up more. The key word here, lack of discipline. Lack of discipline of his defense, not to keep it tight when he needed to keep it tight. And like doing what David Benavidez was doing with Alexander Usyk. You're gassing yourself out, throwing these hard punches where you don't need to. As we know, most couple early rounds, if it's a championship fight, they're filler rounds, right? You're just working, you're understanding what this dude is doing. But this dude, like when Ruben Villa fought that Namibian fighter, bro, this guy's throwing hooks and uppercuts from afar and already connecting in the second round. Like, holy shit, I just fucking walked in the ring with William Zepeda, who's about to throw 100 punches per round. That's where Tim Tszyu got it wrong. Like, dude, your IQ to be able to assess and adapt to changing circumstances, you try to meet fire with fire, and you got blitzed. And you didn't have no recovery plan, no secondary aspect. And by the time that you try to do something and recover, more punches were. That's where it happened. And it didn't matter if he fought step aside or that. Sometimes these things happen, right?
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is this.
That's what I'm trying to say. No big deal. Like,
yeah, but I guess what I'm trying. Well, it is a big deal, right?
It's not.
I disagree with you. It is a big deal because
Why?
Because my son fights.
What does your son have to do in relationship to Tim Tszyu's career?
You want to avoid these kind of things. So the question is, you asked me. The question is, you asked me what went wrong, and I'm trying to ask you what went wrong. Like,
No,
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me how do you avoid what transpired, right? If my son was the guy who was walking up over there to fight, Murtasaliev, right? And you're the trainer. How do you move your fighter in order to fight the guy at the right time? Because I believe timing had a lot to do with it. We know that. How do we know that? Because when Bakr Martisaliev and Tim Tszyu exchanged, and in fact both of them missed, there was a glancing shot that Bartram swung at that just scraped the top of the head of Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu decided to stop the action to touch his brow to look at whether or not he had been cut, right? Because he acted like if there was some kind of a head clash that took place. There wasn't. In fact, the Screaming Madman, he ended up making it short, and he addressed that. Guess what? There was no contact. So we know that psychologically, Tim Tszyu was still affected by the fight prior. So what I'm trying to ask you is this. How does Tim Tszyu avoid what transpired? If you had to move your fighter, how do you do that, homie Ricky? Wherein lies the fault that led to this guy being utterly destroyed?
I get it. It's called training. It's called mid-preparation. It's called scenario testing. For example, this is your son fighting this dude from Watsonville, right? Let's look. Hold on. I don't know if you guys are in real time. So I paused in segments. So let's talk about this. You want to know why, like, since your son fights and all this stuff, and Tim Tszyu, how does this not happen to my son? Drilling, okay? IQ, situational awareness. It goes like this. This kid's coming in. He's fainting, right? He's fainting with the jab. Right there, in this moment, your son can catch him right there and shoot a 2. But your son is waiting. He's waiting because he feels a 2 coming over the top. So he ducks it. Look how he ducks. Okay? Your son loses leverage. The kid misses wildly on a 2 and a 4. Your son makes him miss, which is good. But then you can't build any offense off that defense because your son overcommitted to the defense. Because if he just tries to block it, it's still gonna hurt. So what you do is you squat a little bit. You just roll and slip a little bit where your hands are still to your face, not going for a clinch or a ducking movement. You just squat down and you're ready to fire a left hook. That goes with drilling and studying tape, right? And experience. Let's go further on to the video. So then they get tangled up a little bit, and he's kind of like dipping him. So let's go to another moment. So now they're resettling in the center of the ring because it's an awkward position. The guy missed the loop and four. Your son ducked underneath, but he didn't build any offensive tag. Now, he had just squatted a little bit. He can fire off a 3 to the body, liver shot, maybe a 2 over the top, and makes that dude pay for his mistakes. Now, let's talk about here. So they're resetting. The kid has his hands down. Now, your son can feint. He can step in, step back, or just throw a mean jab right there and snap his head back. He doesn't do nothing. He's just waiting. So the other guy's walking him down. Pops a jab. The kid, you guys both jab one another, but look at their footwork. Both guys are parallel to one another and not a staggered stance. Sit on the back leg. None of these two are doing it. So they bounce, they reset. But now your son was in the center of the ring, and now his back is up against the ropes. That guy throws a jab, your kid throws a 2 to the arm, and then instead of look, that kid is all over position right there. Chop, 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 small steps, stay low, and just keep pressing forward and throw like these little pendulum-like jabs and swing, boom, 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 and press him back. He doesn't. The guy has time to adjust his trunks. His hands are still down, and your son is not putting pressure. In fact, he wastes so much time that this other kid, look at the uppercut that he's trying to throw. And instead of catching it right there, throw a left hook. He resets back to the center.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These things are drills that you sit in the pocket and you watch film study and you drill over the Mets. You do punch combinations. If this kid goes jab, and he's cutting off the ring and he throws a wild forward, you can block it and then shoot a counter 3 over the top, squat down, dig to the body, roll back underneath, come with a 4 over the top.
Hey, mind you, everybody, the homie Ricky is my son's first and original trainer, and he knows how to break all of these fights down, and he's the one who abandoned training the guy. So the guy who can actually correct this guy's mistakes, my son's mistakes, this guy would rather play dead. What was the name of the game?
It's called Dead Gone.
Dead Gone. Anyways, so check it out. No. So I get all that. But here's the thing, homie Ricky.
Wait.
You said, wait. Well, let's go to Tim Tszyu. Because Tim Tszyu versus a fighter that has 13 total fights, right? And the fight that you're probably watching, there's probably like his, 7th or whatever. 13 total fights to a professional in Tim Tszyu, who actually didn't have a big amateur experience, but he has a heck of a stellar professional one, and he is the son of Shoe Hall of Famer and Kostya Tszyu. Tim Tszyu actually went and relocated to the United States of America, in particular Las Vegas, Nevada, in order for him to train and drill and spar, like you said, with to prepare himself for this here fight. Not only this here fight, in fact, to prepare himself for a Terrence Crawford fight, right? Because again, the rumors are Turki Al Sheikh was going to offer him $38 million to fight Terrence Bud Crawford after he won. That's how he looked at it. After he won this last fight. Now he went to the hub, the mecca of boxing, Las Vegas, to get better training, to get all of these things. Homie Ricky, why didn't it pay off? Why did him having access to top-ranked fighters, PBC fighters, all of these fighters from around the world, the Salas Gym, all of these fighters, why did none of that pay off against an unknown fighter like Murtasaliev?
Because what we don't understand, we don't really know how to answer for. We don't understand Bakram. How do you have an answer to somebody that you didn't even know really existed? You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't really prepare for something if you haven't been, like, you know what I mean? It's like you're taking a test, right? Usually the teacher has, you've been taking notes on certain topics. The teacher gives you a heads up. Hey guys, we're testing on Friday. What happens if the teacher, you haven't been taking notes? The teacher tells you, hey guys, read the first 4 chapters, gives you no advice of what the next, questions might be like. There's no prep test, right? There's no preparation for the test, and they just want you to just take this test and they spot quiz you, pop quiz on Friday. More than likely, you're going to be caught off fucking guard because you're like, dude, what the hell is that? You're setting us for success or you're setting us for failure? Oh, that's the real life. You got to deal with it. guess what? Tim Tszyu couldn't deal with it.
But
Look,
that's what I'm trying to get at, homie Ricky. You asked me, right? Where where things went
hold on,
wrong, and I told you.
let me
I
further
told
address
you,
the point.
you said two
There's
things.
this
Wait
wait,
up,
no,
wait
no,
up, wait up, because before I forget, because I'm older than you, and I have seniority, bro. You have to shut up when I'm talking, not the other way around. So the two things you said. One, you said I said the trainer had to do his due diligence in looking at the fight action, right? And there has to be some out there. There has to be some sparring. There has to be some footage. So, and the other thing you said yourself, right, is that Bakram Murtazaliev is no special fighter. He just does a 1-2 and a hook around the guard. How many fighters don't throw a 1-2 and hook around the guard? The simplest combination, 1-2, hook around the guard. How are you gonna tell me that these guys could not figure this guy out, even though they're having obviously better access to better fighters, well-renowned fighters in Las Vegas? Oh, what up, bro? Fernando Valenzuela, bro. He passed away.
Fernando Valenzuela. Is he a
Yeah.
Dodgers player?
Yeah, it was the Dodgers player, the one who opened up the market for Los Angeles, the one who brought in the Mexican Americans, the big fan base, the West Coast. He died at 63 years of age. As of a couple of minutes ago, he was sickly. He had lost a lot of weight. People were asking for prayers, but nobody ever said why. We know why, right? When people ask for prayers, they just want
Yeah.
to keep their ails, their conditions private. But it was pleading and pleading. And I am sad to report that El Toro Valenzuela, Fernando, I am not a Dodgers fan. I am a San Francisco Giants fan. In fact, the Dodgers are the nemesis of my team. But I would like to, every single one of you, if I told you I did not grow up as a Mexican American child watching this here guy pitch for the legendary Dodgers team when my parents had most recently immigrated here to the good old US of A. He made us believe that we belonged here. He gave us chance that we could make it here. He was a legendary pitcher, big guy.
We belong here. It's nuestra tierra, güey.
As
We
more than
belong
Native
here.
Americans, more than Native
Yeah, mamá.
Americans. But nonetheless, Fernando Valenzuela, may the boxing gods shed their light favorably upon you. You will be sorely missed. You were an inspiration to all of us. Brown, whites, blacks, anybody that wanted to do something in the world in a favorable way, providing entertainment. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, El Toro, bro. Like, I grew up. Baseball was my first sport that I played, like from a little kid, right? My mom, they would drop us off to baseball. Actually, they wouldn't drop us off, right? They would actually stay and watch the whole practices. My mom did that. I played for a team called Atlantic Little League. Just a little sidebar here. Get away from boxing. I played baseball, and my first team that I ever played, it was called Atlantic, and we wore colors. We didn't have like the Braves, but it was like Atlantic Maroon team. Our jerseys were colored maroon, right? Little burgundy purplish. And long story short, our team was stacked, and we went 18-0. And regular season, sorry, I think we went 14-0 regular season, and we went to the finals. We beat teams like Soledad, Greenfield. These are like regional, salad bowl little cities, nothing too huge. And we beat our local teams, and then we played Hollister. Hollister, they have a great program over there. They continue to have like a top 30 in the state of California. Um, their children and their fathers, they have this great system where every single player, basically from kids, continue to play for every single Hollister teams all the way to middle school and high school. and they do like year-round travel ball. They have good money and funded, and they take it serious, and they always make good talent that ends up going to multiple Division I colleges to pitch, to bat, and they have a lot of home run hitters. We lost the championship to Hollister American B. We beat one of the Hollister teams, and we had to beat more of their all-star team, 8-1. Anyway, just preface it, baseball is a big thing in our family. My parents, like Speed was saying, they're big Dodgers fans. You know, Dodgers at that time when they were here, like Speed gave you guys a little historical context, they've always had Latino or Mexican American like pitchers, right? And I think even not Hector Camacho, but there's his last name was Camacho, right? He was actually from Salinas and played pro ball. Speed, do you know which one I'm talking about? The Oakland Athletics. Long story short, you know, my parents are extreme big Dodgers fans. We grew more in the Bay Area, so, you know, we became really Giants fans, you know, San Jose, Bay Area type of thing. But regardless, you know, once your parents watch the Dodgers games, you know, you're kind of like a Dodgers fan as well. But anyway, yeah, man, shout out to Fernando, man. That sucks, man. I'm sure my parents are going to be really bummed out about that shit.
Yeah, horrible news, bro. Horrible news. I mean, he's not even that old, bro.
That's young. Yeah, that's 60. Would you say 62, 63?
63.
And we talked about, I think before you came in here, Speed, we were talking about food, right, guys? And how it's very important with food. Again, another sidebar. If you guys want to watch a very interesting health documentary by Michael Moore, it's called Sicko. Okay? And in fact, I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this, but hold on. You guys can watch movies and shows. Allegedly, you ain't get it from me, but you guys can go here. Just close like the two pop-ups, and you guys can just type it on Google, and you guys can watch shows, animes, and stuff like that for educational purposes. And once you click on something, just click X out and stuff. But
bro,
anyway,
just go on Tubi, bro. Just go on Tubi.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources. But what I'm trying to say is that's one. And yeah, watch that documentary, and you start talking about the medical system and like foods and all of these things, right? So I can't stress enough the importance of food and just really taking care of yourselves, because that's one way that they get us. So if you really have dreams, aspirations, want to make changes, man, it starts at the kitchen table. I can't stress enough the importance of our daily intake, right? Because pretty much every single day we're going to eat and intake something, water, food, fruit, whatever the case may be. That's going to mess with your mental psyche, right? It's going to change how you go about like inflammation from the face, swelling, blemishes, all of that stuff. It starts with the intake of the food. Once you start feeling strong, once you start exercising and getting off this like modern tech, that's the real poison. Anyway, but that's a different topic. But man, food, guys, the quality of food. You love that burger? Make it homemade. It's cheaper, and you can get yourself for like at Walmart. They said like you get some sirloin beef, $24. You can make yourself 20 patties. You ain't gonna be able to do that at In-N-Out Burger, and I love In-N-Out. But like 2 double doubles, that's already over like 20-something bucks. And you get animal fries and stuff. So I'm just saying, you guys got to be very methodical, especially look, man, I just hit 30, right? And I've never had heartburn. And like around February, I got heartburn for the first time eating tomatoes. All right. I'm not even a big tomato guy like that, but I love it on my burgers, right? And that shit fucked with me. That was crazy, folks, right? Tomatoes, like, and I was like, man, I really got to change up how I eat at nighttime and stuff like that. Now, here's another thing. I don't know if I have problems breathing, but when I go to sleep, sometimes I'll wake up and my heart is pounding, almost like if I'm not inhaling and exhaling during my sleep, like I've been holding my breath, and I'm like, holy shit. And I don't be having like tremors and like nightmares and all of these things that like nervios. It's just like sometimes that happens, you know? So guys, I can't stress the importance of your health. Brain matter, physical health, physical wellness. Man, we got to lock in. You know what I mean? So anyway, just like Tim Sue's got to lock in on his defense and really understand. But you were talking about a lot of stuff, Drew. I mean, Speed. But you were talking about Tim Sue and all of these things, right? And before we started like dissecting how the son fights and how your son can make improvements,
Yeah, look, before we
there's this
go
really
there, wait
important
up,
thing.
Dream,
Hold
wait
on,
up,
wait,
homie
whoa, whoa,
Ricky.
whoa, 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 whoa. One last thing, because I know I said a lot, but there's one last thing. The tail of the tape. If you don't know anybody, when they do weigh-ins and your face off, the coach, much like the fighter, has to make 27 judgments on the first time that you ever meet your opponent, right? So, for example, your son does amateur boxing. On Saturdays, they weigh in. He sees he should be sizing up every single person that looks more or less his height or more or less his weight class. Look at muscle dexterity, right? And in the first 5 seconds, is this guy orthodox or southpaw? And then in the next 10 seconds, is this guy throwing hooks or straight punches? And is it bouncing in and out? You have to make rapid fire adjustments and measurements, and you have to biases, because that's how you're going to be able to change your angle and combination of your punches. If the guy's tall, if he's short, stocky, slipping, if he's bouncing like Bivol, all of those things, those punches, you have to make these super fly moments, trigger fire, cognitive responses, synapses, boom, 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 in a split second. If you don't do that fast enough with the tail of the tape, professionals have that advantage where they weigh in on Friday and you can see like HBO tail of the tape. Take it away here, Jim. And then, Jim's like, all right, we're in this corner. This guy's 5'8" with the arm length of 75. Let me tell you something, Max. You know what I mean? Like those guys break it down. The fighters have to do that in their head just to see, okay, this guy has a longer arm length. I might need to smother his work. I can't really get full extension and let him pop off with his long ass arms. Anyway, go ahead, bro. Just want to add to that.
Yeah, okay. So again, all of these things that the homie Ricky's talking about, he can actually employ them with my son. He can impart this knowledge, but he doesn't do it. He'd rather play video games and I don't know what the hell else he does. Eat tomato and get heartburn, right? But
Check off.
yeah, jerk off. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Hey, whoa, who is this?
You know what? Adi Medi said the same shit too earlier.
Yeah, yeah, Eddie Medi. That's probably Dream, anyways. Hey, Dream, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How about yourself, man?
Well, we just got news, bro, that Fernando Valenzuela, the legendary pitcher for the Dodgers, Mexican, he passed away a couple of maybe an hour ago or so. I know my parents are gonna be heartbroken. Uh, so that's not good. My vehicle started to act up. Uh, it's needing a
Mm.
fuel pump that costs $500 because it's a 1 year vehicle. So there's that. The fridge went out yesterday. 3-year-old $1,000 fridge.
What?
Or yep, exactly. Don't buy Korean stuff, guys. Don't buy Samsung. Don't buy LG. Whatever you do, don't buy those things for your appliances.
That's a badass refrigerator, by the way. That sucks,
Did
dude.
you
Is
get
it
Yeah,
the
insurance on
part
it?
or is it the freezer
yeah,
part?
no, of course, it's gonna have insurance. But what I mean is the inconvenience, right, of having to clear
Yeah.
out, prep, wait for these texts to come on by, make the room, go over there and look at it to tell you that it's this, order the part, come back another. It's gonna be a loss of time. It's gonna be a loss of convenience, a lot of wasted food that we're throwing out. It's just gonna be pretty bad. But at the end of the day, here's the thing, right? I had money to go buy fresh uh, food. I bought some mushrooms. I bought some, I don't know what they are. It's a bok choy. There you go, talking about healthy stuff. Bok choy, made some white rice, and I'm going to throw that out. If you've been hearing grilling, that's been what it is. I'm about to do that. So I can't really complain because I'm still healthy. I still have life. I still have friends and family, even our little listeners. That going back to what you were saying, homie, you wanted to talk about boxing. I was not done. I was not done addressing our listeners. When the homie Ricky talks about health, talks about changing our lives, talks about wishing for ourselves something better than what we have, I really want you to listen. Because you may not believe it, right? Because I don't know you. But over this year or so, year and a half or two that we've been with the homie Ricky in my own channel, I've developed an appreciation and a respect for you guys. And believe it or not, some affection. I really do care and love you guys. So when the Mexican G confesses that he left his job, the place that he was unhappy with, in order to risk what's out there and see if he can get something better, I pray for that guy. When Adi Medi hops on here and cracks a joke, he makes me laugh. He brightens my day.
You laugh
When
at
I
him.
when I hear a Pachuco hop on here, I miss that guy. I don't know where he's at. Last time he said he was gonna be responding to one of my son's fights, which he ended up losing. Eddie Medi was completely honest, and he said your son lost. I was like, well, he did. You know, he eventually did, buddy. But but when but I haven't heard of the guy, and as time goes by, I worry. Right? These little moments where we are open and honest with each other, you can call him vulnerable or whatnot, they really matter. So when the homie Ricky says something that sounds like, why does he care? It's because we actually do. We aren't cold-blooded individuals just because we love a violent activity like boxing. We care about our listeners. We want the best for you all. And in fact, I count my blessings that I have you guys. So going back, Dream, take over, bro. I want to hear how you're doing.
Oh no, I was just checking in because I was just I'm at that age where I check my email first before I go to social media platforms. I checked my email and I seen that he sent like a link. So I'm just checking in, man. So um not much, man. I just got done with work like an hour ago, so it was like somewhat of a long day, but it was solid, you know. But yeah, man, nothing much. I don't really see like a topic or like a thumbnail. Oh, I see that. Oh, yeah, Tim Zoo, yeah. But other than that, it's been really like kind of dead as of
Ho hum.
recently as far as boxing. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. You guys were talking about something else. You guys were talking when I came in. You guys were talking about something about Rick and training people.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we were talking about how we were asking each other what went wrong with Tim Sue, and I guess maybe we should ask you.
oh,
Look, we know homie
he's
Ricky can
saying
break it down.
oh, so he's pretty much saying like what he would do if he was, or what he would tell Tim Zoo to do, and how he would like train him, huh? Like
No,
that's what he's saying.
um, no. We were actually dissecting a little bit of competitive footage of his son, right? And
Mhm.
basically, he was like, what went wrong, and I was like, drilling. The lack of understanding of the angles of punches from an unknown fighter that there's not much that you know about him.
Mhm.
You might watch a couple of film studies and you think, oh, this guy's a basic fighter until you're in there with him, and then his arm length is getting around your guard because he has longer arms and the way he throws his angles of his punches. And when you like in boxing, there's a tell of the tape, right? In the amateurs, you don't. You have split seconds or a couple of days, or not even a couple of days, a couple of minutes before you know, oh, that's the dude that you're fighting. And then there's a bunch of guys hitting mitts, and you don't know who, if it's going to be that dude or the other dude and the other dude. The thing is, you have to size everybody up. But sometimes you don't have that split finger time to make all of those assessments in the heat of fire. So where does that happen? In your training, in mid preparation, in IQ and scenario testing, and running through visualizations of things that can happen in the ring against certain fighters, tall fighters that are lefties, tall fighters that are righties, short fighters that are lefties, fighters that, that fight like the Ukrainian style or the Eastern European, with the elongated lead hand dominating, you know what I mean? Or a Cuban style that are flamboyant and they like to dance, and you have to cut off the ring and find them and be comfortable that you're not going to be able to throw 1,000 punches. Get away with just landing one, land your punch, and let them come to you, and then they walk into one. You have to understand these, and you have to talk to your fighter and give him knowledge and game. And where does that come from? A trainer? Well, hopefully you read books. Hopefully you watch films. Hopefully you watch many fights and take notes on combinations that Marquez or Floyd Mayweather or Oscar the Lawyer threw in their classic fights. And that's how you try to implement into your game, right? Because every single person here, we're students. We're always learning from these fighters. A teacher learns from his pupils. The veteran fighters learn from the trainers, vice versa. And it's a whole like system, right? That's cohesive and that like wraps around one another. So everybody in boxing, there's always something new to learn, and there's always something that a person forgets that you wish you knew. Get what I'm saying? So, because some people might have so much information in their head that what they forget is much more than what you ever encountered, right? And that's the beauty about this sport. So when guys like Tim Tszyu get it wrong and it only goes 2 or 3 rounds, it happens. It's okay. We're not accustomed to seeing it, because when we expect, top fighters or what we perceive to be top fighters and they get knocked out in 3 rounds, you're just like, what's
Yeah.
But like the Mexican says, Tim Tszyu really wasn't all that. He's living off his dad's name. And even then I was like, it's all right. Like, if that's what,
At least,
it's all right. You know what I mean? Like all of that is okay.
yeah. At least he's like somewhat there. He's good enough to do that, to do what he's doing at this level. I mean, you don't beat Brian Mendoza for no reason.
Absolutely not. Dude's a stud.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the division. I mean, as far as footwork,
he's one of the tough guys in the division, and he will never quit. Like, dude, Brian Mendoza fought Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora, and then he fought the guy that dropped Virgil Ortiz twice. And in almost all 3 of those fights, Brian Mendoza was losing. Mm-hmm. And somehow he still manages to fight tough fighter. I love that fighting spirit. And he loses. I'm not going to go out there and call Brian Mendoza a bum or anything like that. I don't really like using that word. I might be like, oh, that was a whack-ass performance.
Gatekeeper?
I expected more. But like with guys like Brian Mendoza and Gabe Rosado, when he fights Jaime Munguia, when they gave us valiant effort, shit like that, I cannot just nod my head and tip my cap and be like, salute to you, bro. You might have lost, but that was a badass fight.
Maybe he was a gatekeeper.
Sport. Yeah, if you're a gatekeeper, I have no problem with people being gatekeepers, bro. Like it's all right, man. Like this is the sport of boxing. Everybody has their role. You know what I mean? And just do it to the best of your ability. Don't do it just for a check. Do it because you love the sport and you're actually giving yourself the best preparation to fucking win. If you go out there looking to win, cool. Don't just go out there to collect the check and don't give the best performance, because you carry yourself with pride, your last name with pride, and you deserve it to that household, to yourself, to try to fucking win. If you can beat that young prospect and you have 10 losses, don't just let him bounce on you. Beat his ass like that dude did with Alan Garcia. If he's worthy, he knocks you out. And if he's unworthy, you knock the block off that fool. Period. You know what I mean? There's not sympathy in this game. And if you can make an extreme, amazing run when you have 10 losses, so be it. It's never too late until you say, no más. I don't quiero, güey. Me rajé. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, what's your take about the Tim Tszyu? Have you gotten to see the fight, Drew? I know that you've been a little preoccupied with watching football and, collecting these checks and reeling these things in. But were you able to watch this Tim Tszyu fight?
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't too busy, because I mean, my big parlay that I hit was done and over with by Sunday. So I just needed, Baltimore Ravens, to collect that check, what I mean?
Okay.
Blank. But it was cool, man.
Stole profit, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, because I mean, dude, I actually, it was
I heard you went to do Top Golf.
Yeah, no, dude. So I was watching boxing before that, and because I actually went at night, so all the boxing was done and over with by like I forget what, like 8 around that time. So yeah, dude, I had this parlay and I could have won like $600, right? And I mean, I think what had happened was one of the outcomes didn't happen, and I was like fucking shit out of luck, kind of. And yeah, I was thinking like this was gonna be the one that was gonna get me, at least like $600. And I was like, dude, I know this is gonna happen. I know Tim Zoo's. I actually, because I put money line.
Oh,
I even
you did a boxing one?
yeah, because I played it safe. I played
Okay.
it safe. Because I was gonna use that money to use on football,
Okay.
and I was just betting small, like 20
Got you, got
bucks, and I think yeah, like 20, 30 bucks, and yeah, I put pretty much like Tim Zoo money line because I just didn't know too much about this guy, and
you. Yeah.
to go the distance, it was like plus 185 or something like that on Bovada. He was favored to actually knock him out, and
Correct.
Bakram, I mean, dude, I should have done my research at least, bro. I should have been like, like just. I, the thing is, I would have never guessed you would have gotten his ass beat this bad, because Bakram showed out, and bro, they're even saying to hold off on giving him credit, just wait until the test his VADA results come in or
Oh
whatever.
no.
Yeah, yeah, bro, because
That's not the stage we're at nowadays. How it's just like, hey,
yeah,
don't give these guys no credit, guys, until they
yeah,
clear the body testing. Fuck the
yeah,
Devin
that
Haney
Haney, yeah,
situation. Ah, dude.
that Haney area. So I seen those comments. I was like, what the fuck?
But the
And
IBF don't do VADA though, but they do like WADA and some other shit. But I hear you.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. So I was like, damn, dude, like this guy's probably just good, man. Like he's Russian and he's strong as fuck, man, and he's he's got he's got experience, So this guy's a new player at 154, and
For
he's a
sure.
he's tough for anybody, bro. Like honestly, like I have to rewatch it, but dude, just by the looks of it, this guy can possibly beat like dudes like Lubin, Lubin, maybe even like a Jesus Ramos, or even like
Oh, that's a good ass name. I haven't heard in a minute since they
well,
robbed them. But yeah,
reason why I
Jesus
say
Ramos.
reason why I say that is because he's rumored to fight. God damn, man, I had it back in my mind. I'm gonna look it up right now. But it's almost done deal type of thing, and they're even saying, oh yeah, Jermel Charlo coming
Wait,
back in
Jesus
January.
Ramos versus Charlo?
Yeah, Jermel
Damn, hell
in
yeah, that's a good
January.
ass fight. Damn.
Yeah, I seen it somewhere on the IG, and then the boxing voice was talking about it too. So yeah, dude, they're close to being a done deal, and yeah, man, they're even saying Lubin on the undercard in Arizona. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be a good one, man. So Bakram's a new guy though. He's like what, the IBF champ. So I think he's I think I forget who's actually ordered. Oh no, they ordered fucking Beterbiev to. They gave him a mandatory already,
Oh,
the
okay.
IBF. But Bakram, he's the IBF champ, I
Right.
believe, right? So they're gonna give him a mandatory, and
Man, yeah,
uh
that's a good ass fight. I would love to go to that one. Jesus Ramos and Charlo. I'm sure the tickets will be pretty cheap too.
in
Um,
Arizona,
yeah, it's gonna be it's in Arizona. That's not bad.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've always one of my dreams is to go to the Grand Canyon. But I don't know
Well,
how
dude,
far the stadium would be from there, but that would be nice.
I
Yeah,
flown
man,
to
that's
Arizona.
a good ass fight, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm still salty because Jesus Ramos fought Erickson Lubin on the Canelo
And he lost.
Jamel Charlo undercard, right? And they robbed Jesus Ramos. Now
Yeah,
it
they
was a
did.
mediocre fight between both guys. They played it very safe, but Ramos won that shit. And
Yeah.
look again, Robeson Conceição beat Oscar Valdez, but they gave it to Valdez, right? Robson Conceição lost to Oshaki Foster, but immediately they gave Oshaki Foster a rematch when they didn't have to, right? My thing is, how come you guys didn't give Jesus Ramos the ability to run it back versus Lubin? I think Lubin became a champion that night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the wrong fucking dude got that decision.
Yeah, and guess what? He's actually turning down fights in Japan.
Who, Lubin?
Yeah, because he doesn't want to fight in Japan.
Soft.
Stupid, huh?
Soft, bro. Oh my, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that was Jesus Ramos and you're giving him the bag, he's going to fucking Japan.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to tell like Speed earlier about PBC Productions and matchmaking and their vision. They're silly, bro. Silly corporation. They have all of these fighters. Like, for example, bro, I can sell you this for $20. I'm going to have Keith Thurman, I'm going to have Errol Spence, and I'm going to have Danny Garcia. Where they are right now, they're all going to be in the same card. They're not fighting one another, but they'll be there. Hopefully they get the tune-ups. Fucking not $25. I'll sell it to you guys for $5, right? Just on pay-per-view for $5. You know, it'll be on Fox, but if you guys want to help out, it's $5. Those are the 3 fighters that I'm going to have in Jermell Charlo. You can sell that, and they can fight tune-ups. Easy, like Rod Salkas of the world if you want. You know what I mean? People just want to see these fighters be active.
Yeah.
But no, these dudes, man.
You know, I have an innovative idea, guys.
Fucking
How
hate
about
these,
this, right?
bro. Oh my
So,
god.
here's the thing, right? When we saw in the Turkey Al Sheikh, Los Angeles
England.
event, and a couple of other Saudi Riyadh season events, right? Including that fight between Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua, like about 3 weeks, maybe a month ago now. What happens is most people show up to the end of the show, right? Because they only want to see the main event. People go and do other stuff, especially in Las Vegas. They go and do other stuff, get a couple of drinks going on, and so forth and so on. Then they show up to the end to make sure, because it's demoralizing for fighters to watch an empty stadium as their fight is taking place, right? There's no inspiration. There's nothing to really pick themselves up and say, "Oh man, the cheer of the crowd, the roar of the crowd. Oh, I want to perform in front of these people." There's nothing to entice them, right? And in fact, that silence is just
Um.
this is what I would do.
Yeah.
I would sell tickets first come, first served. You want the best tickets in town? Get your ass first, right? You would see, imagine the clamor of people,
So what
this
you're saying is all
surrounded by
are
thousands. Bro,
$5.
imagine. Here's the thing. All I think about is when the new PlayStation, the new Xbox comes out, people camp for 3 days to get the latest console. Imagine to a heavyweight championship unification. First come, first serve. Prices are $50 each or 100 or whatever. Get your ass over there, bro. And
Yeah,
then
but
the whole
that's how they
demand.
gonna lose money though.
Wait, wait, wait. The whole who cares though? The whole demand that the news reporting on 40,000 people outside of the city just waiting in the rain or whatever. It would demonstrate the craziness of the fan
Bro,
base,
I
the
like it, bro.
demand.
I like
that's
it.
a good idea.
That's a
Hey,
great
That
idea.
bro, and this is the reason why I got it right. Because at their local events, I always tell you guys, right? Show up to your local amateur events, right? Support the fighters of the future. You know, their tickets aren't, the entrance are $20, $25, whatever. Watch 15, 20 fights. Have yourself some good tacos, good entertainment on the cheap. Support these guys, right? But over there, whoever shows up first sits in the first row. Simple as that. Tickets are $25. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter if you're this guy or that guy, Mr. Bob Arum. You're gonna sit wherever you can find the chair. If they did that to the big events, guys, wow, the sport would survive. I assure you, there would be nothing greater than watching a bunch of people hanging outside of a building waiting for the gates to open. It would be crazy. Everybody would be reporting. Nobody would risk getting out of their seat. It'd be crazy.
yeah, bro, that's crazy.
It's a great idea. I love the concept, man, for sure.
Dude, you know what I was watching over the weekend? My bad to change the subject.
Now you're good. Keep going.
There was another fight that I was watching. And so this is the fight that I actually lost that big parlay that I was supposed to win, bro. Like
UFC
before,
shit.
it was the William Skull fight, bro.
Oh,
William Skull versus Shishkin. I'm not sure if you heard of Victor Shishkin or if is that his name? Yeah, I think it
yeah,
is.
Shishkin or something like that.
Yeah,
Vladimir Shishkin.
there we go. Vladimir Shishkin. He fought William Skull, bro. was watching that fight. Dude, Ness from TBV. I DM'd him. I said, "Hey, what do you think about this fight?" He said, William Skull's gonna lose by decision," and I was like, "Damn." So yeah, I decided to put like money on that on Shishkin to go.
But not major money, right? Just like a little bit.
No, I put it on the parlay.
Oh,
I put it
okay,
on the parlay. Yeah, I put it on the parlay and I put it with Tim Zoo money line. I would have lost that anyway, you know. So
yeah.
that's why I was like hyped because that fight happened first, and I was like watching that fight, man, because I was so confident Tim Zoo was gonna win somehow, some way, and yeah, dude, I was like, fucking shit, dude. William Skull got the decision, bro, and he won, and William Skull actually lost that fight, bro. Like it was so like obvious that he lost, bro. Like he's not that good. That
He's
like
bad.
yeah, dude. No, yeah, dude. He's not that good. Like the thing is he's explosive. He's explosive when he wants to be, but guess what? He gets tired. He doesn't know how to be efficient. He doesn't know how to be economical with his punches. He doesn't put it together. He doesn't think about what he's doing. He doesn't think about his energy that he has. He just when it's time to rumble, he just starts to swing and he's explosive. And Shishkin was timing him up. He was just collecting rounds, bro. Like it was such a one-sided fight as far as the points go. It's just that Skull um was explosive when he wanted to be, but he got tired quick, and he didn't really have like a array of shots, like as far as the combinations, like it was always like counter shots. Like he doesn't have too much of a offensive, tools, so
So what you're saying is that Canelo should go get his belt back from Skull?
dude, it like, well, this is okay. Let me play the. I'm
Yeah.
not saying yes. I'm not saying yes, but look, when I was watching the fight, they said it was a packed house, right, bro? When they were in the fucking corners, they had a fucking band in there. They had a band in there playing Cuban music in the arena. It was too loud for the commentators to talk because they were fucking playing. They were
That's
playing
pretty
like
cool.
they were playing loud ass Cuban music, and they're like, yeah, because there was a live bro. There was a live band. When every time they went in the corner, boom, they started playing da na 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 na, and then it was like, and then
It's
the
fucking
guys,
March Madness shit, dude.
bro, they were trying to talk and they couldn't you can't even hear anything. But like there was some rounds where they were quiet and they didn't like play that shit. But like, bro, that like almost every other round, bro, like there was hella Cubans, and I think it was like out there, like in Europe, I think.
It was in Germany.
Yeah, in Germany, bro. They showed out. I was
It
like,
was
what the
crazy.
fuck? They had a Cuban band.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, and they let them play in there. I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it was crazy.
It was
I never
exactly
seen
what.
I never seen anything like that because they were like the commentators were trying to talk and you couldn't even hear them. They just kept talking and they're like, I guess they're just not gonna hear us.
And that was the zone like streaming it, correct?
Yeah. It was low quality, but I was watching it. So
Yeah, that's cool, man.
No,
Yeah,
it was actually very impressive for me, Ricky. So here's the thing I got to tell you guys about Germany, right? Germany has Felix Sturm, right? If I'm not mistaken, has Felix Sturm, probably their only great fighter right now. And he's really at the end of his career. He still fights here and there, and he has a promotion called Sturm Boxing, right? The Zone shows his fights, but Germany doesn't have a lot of great boxers. They don't have a lot of talent right now, right? So William Skull, he's an
Artem
expat,
Harutyunyan.
huh?
Artem Harutyunyan, the guy that fought Shakur and Frank Martin. Hey, Artem.
He's a German.
I believe so, right?
Well, he's a German like William Skull is. They live in Germany. They live in Germany, bro. That's what they do, right? So William Sco is an expat from Cuba living in Germany for like the past 6 years or so. I think he turned pro in 2016, so
Oh
he's
no,
really
he's
living.
German. He's Armenian-born German professional fighter. Yeah, Artem Harutyunyan. I knew he was German. Come on, bro, put some respect.
Okay, okay, well,
I
maybe,
didn't
maybe
get
have Zinian is probably the best German, right, besides Felix Sturm, but nonetheless, right? He, for whatever reason or another, even though Cuba is so close to continental U.S. and he could make it to Miami and just get into the U.S. by the wet foot, free foot, or whatever the thing is called, where Cubans just hit land and then they become Americans. Whatever that was, he decided to just go the long way. He took the long way around, right? And he ended up in Germany. I don't know what a black dude does in Germany, but he went over there and he made it to Germany. Now, you got to understand, in Germany, their boxing is not very deep. In fact, I was friends. I am friends with a German fighter. He's a chiropractor. He's a full time chiropractor, fighting at 160, and he sometimes fluctuates between 168. And he diddle daddles in boxing. He has an undefeated record, 17-0. But this guy's punches, I mean, I'm just being honest. They're not the crisp. They're not the strongest. They're not the fastest at all. But he wins. He beats these guys, right? And that just it makes you think, how bad are those guys, right? Because this guy is undefeated and he's packing the house, right? Little venue still, but packing the house. Now, William, he's a Cuban. Before he immigrated to Germany, he had Cuban boxing training. This guy actually was a standout as an amateur. So we had high hopes that Canelo was ducking this guy for a reason. I don't know if you guys remember this, but William Skull actually came out on the undercard of Canelo versus Munguia on the PBC. They showcased William Skull because they knew that Skull was his mandatory for the IBF. And they were just trying to bring eyes to the guy, right? You don't remember that fight. I know you don't. But apparently he stopped his opponent in the fifth round. In this fight, he went all 12 rounds against um, a good fighter in Vladimir Shishkin, a guy who I have actually heard about, Vladimir Shishkin. But like Dream says, in no way did William Skull look dominant. In no way did he take that fight as a victory. I would say, in fact, both of them underperformed. Both of them were being very cautious, especially William, very reluctant to throw. And it should have been a draw because nobody pulled away from each other. In fact, I
Hell
would have
no.
even given it to Shishkin just because of the aggressive nature of him. He was bringing the
It
fight.
was
Who was more explosive? William, but he didn't let
yeah,
his hands go.
bro. It was Shishkin, bro. Like I was thinking about this right now. He reminds me of Bartholomew, Francis Bartholomew. Like that's who he kind of reminds me of, and I can see him like just aging out and still being able to have a puncher's chance because that's what he is, bro. Like he's he's got a really fat like speed is power, bro. Like that's what it is. He's explosive and he hits hard. Like Shishkin actually had to like readjust himself a couple times, because of it. And but I just feel like Shishkin was actually outworking him. He was collecting all the rounds, bro. Like I think I kept seeing one of their scorecards and they were saying that Shishkin was running away with it. So I don't know. It's just like no ring generalship. He's just there in the ropes, just getting punched on, bro. Like it wasn't hard punches. Like it wasn't like obvious. Like it wasn't clean punches to the face, but they were to the body and they were to the head. Maybe some to the glove, but it landed on the head. Make him readjust himself a little bit. But he was just chilling on the ropes. Like you can't win rounds just by like chilling like that, like in the rounds, chilling on the ropes. I mean, expecting him to come to you and you're just gonna try to counter him when you're actually getting landed on. So I don't know. Like for me, it should have been a draw at least. But Shishkin won that shit, bro. Like I don't know. I wasn't trying to be biased, but I was like, dude, this is so hard to not see it that like not see it that way. So
Yeah.
William Skull's food. Um,
So food.
yeah, he's food. It just depends who he fights. This is a 168 pounder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He has Canelo's IBF belt. This is
he
the
just
funny
looks
thing, guys.
small. He
This
looks so
guy is
small.
the new world champion for the IBF.
That's crazy. And this is the thing, man. Like I don't know. He's the weakest link. No, obviously in that whole division. So yeah, I don't know. Like I gotta see who he can fight. Maybe like a Mungia or like a Berlanga.
Oh, he gets
uh,
killed, bro. I'm sorry. This
Maybe
guy is a
Berlanga,
very horrible fighter,
but
guys.
no, not Berlanga. He's Cuban. Um, fucking,
Oh, he's Puerto Rican, bro.
I don't know. I would. Is that even a rivalry? Aren't they like kind of like on the same side?
No, 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 no,
Both
no way.
Caribbean.
No, I know they're both Caribbean, but no, no, no. Two different cultures, guys. I know they're like about 5 miles away as two islands. They're really brothers and sisters, and they both have, their own steeds. They have their own stilo, and they have their own slang. But no, guys, there's no way you're gonna call a Cuban a Puerto Rican and get away with it, or vice versa, right? It's not. And in fact, to tell you the honest truth, I'm just gonna come out and say it, right? I never liked Cuban boxing.
Wow.
It's too cautious. It's too cautious. It's too cautious. It's a
No,
technical.
sometimes it's.
It's a beautiful, absolutely, but it's just too cautious. Too
I like
cautious.
Lada's version. I like Lada's version of boxing right now. He used to run a little too much, but now I like him now. Like
Yeah, there you
prefer
go.
I prefer him to be more like him, But yeah, I feel like I don't know.
Hey guys,
Uh,
just a heads up. You guys are gonna
yeah.
hold it down. I'm gonna be on my phone, but you'll see me log off.
All right.
Yeah, no, that was a horrible fight. In fact, that fight. Oh yeah, so the Mexican G. I'm saying, I'm sorry. It's not William Skull. It's William School. Like school. Like he's gonna school Canelo. Really, it's ridiculous. Like, man, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I tried to promote that fight because I wanted to. I wanted to educate our listeners, right, on who it is that Canelo decided to give up his undisputed status for. Think about it, Dream. Bring him over here. Think about it. This guy decided to just give up his belt to fight Edward Berlanga. He decided to skip the cycle of defense. The IBF was next. And he didn't even offer this guy step aside money. He just said, "Nope, I don't care about the IBF. I'm undisputed." And to tell you the honest truth, I don't disagree with that. I don't want somebody to just come over here like Edward Berlanga in a puncher's chance sport and then stop Canelo, knock him out, beat him on points or whatever, and then just gets a lucky chance to become undisputed. Because that really waters down the sport. Everybody talks about this thing about, oh man, there's too many belts, too many sanctioning bodies. Who's the real champion? This is why boxing sucks. And then you think about, how hard it is to get four belts? You know how hard it is to abide by four different sanctioning bodies' rules? It's absolutely hard. And it should be. In fact, to make the sport even better, I would say if there was more belts, it'd be harder for you to become undisputed. Because I remember somebody like Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor, he beat the undisputed Bernard Hopkins, who had three belts for about 6 years. He comes over here, has the lucky fight. He beats Bernard Hopkins, and then the next fight, Jermaine Taylor loses it. But Jermaine Taylor became undisputed by beating one guy, right? Even though the other guy held it for 6 years. And you're probably saying, well, yeah, it's the guy who beats the guy. You know what I'm saying? It just waters down the sport. I'm not trying to say there should be more belts. I'm just saying it's so difficult to get four belts, and it should be like that. But imagine that Canelo actually paid sanctioning bodies so that Berlanga had the fight of his life and somehow get the points on Canelo. Imagine how ridiculous the sport of boxing would look like if Edward Berlanga, having done nothing to ever deserve a shot to fight Canelo, became undisputed. You know what I'm saying? And William Skull became a champion because Canelo decided not to offer him sanctioning bodies and defend against a guy, and he fought Berlanga. Now, guess what happens? Canelo's screwed because if he cares about that fourth belt, he has to offer this guy more money when he could have gotten him on the cheap when he was just a defense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Canelo really just like he's just trying to give away money now.
Yeah, no, he's I don't know, he's just doing it his way at this point. So like I'm fucking done talking about him. But
Yeah.
I'm not I can't be mad at the end of the day, like you know, his his legacy cemented. So can't complain, but yeah, as far as Tank, he needs to fucking fight somebody, bro. He's gonna fight what's his name? Um what's his name? Lamont Roach.
Lamont Roach.
Yeah, Lamont Roach.
Wait,
So
is it Lamont Roach?
yeah, Lamont Roach. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's his name. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
smaller guy. All right, he's gonna bring him up, whatever. That's nothing new. But I mean, as far as a skilled black fighter, a black athlete, he's gonna be good. But is he better than the Ghost, Frank Martin? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either,
Uh,
bro.
yeah, Lamont Roach. Yeah, I know. He's fighting the great Lamont Roach, the Mexican
The
dude.
great Lamont Roach.
Yeah.
Don't even say it like that, bro. The great Lamont Roach.
Yeah, I think yeah, he
Lamont
needs to
Roach,
fight
bro.
bigger dudes, bro. He just needs to fight bigger dudes. But yeah, man. What we were talking about? I want to go back to the middleweights. Yeah, I want to go back to the middleweights, bro, because it's like it's a hot division, bro. And I feel like they need to start migrating to 160 or something, because you got Janibek right there waiting for these guys to come up.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're around the same size, man. Like I can't believe William Skull's 168. Like, he don't look that big, so
Yeah, he
uh
doesn't.
he's food, with whoever he
Big time food, bro. I've never
yeah,
seen
he's food.
somebody more food.
Yeah, because yeah, 168 just got some monsters, bro. So I feel like 160 is empty and 154 is just getting loaded up. And you got Xander Zayas, you got so many dudes. You got Vito Malnecki, even though
Milnecki.
I feel like he's not at that level. He already has a loss, but I
Yeah.
feel like he has improved. But yeah, he's another dude. We also forgot about Joey Spencer, but I feel like he's not even supposed to be at 150, 154. I feel like
Where
he's
do
a
you think he belongs?
I feel like he's a 147 pounder. Like I'm just saying that because I feel like he's good, and his hand speed is there. It's just I feel like he doesn't punch hard enough.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't punch hard enough. If Jesus Ramos can run through your punches and go right through you, it's just move down because I know that's a bigger dude, but at the same time, if you're that small, literally like my height, 5'9", 5'10", I think he's like 5'9". You're supposed to pack a punch, man. You know, um, so I don't know. I used to look at him as a knockout puncher up until that fight. I think I was hoping for him to prove to me that he had power. I got to sneeze. Sorry. Oof. But yeah, yeah, no, like he just didn't prove that. So, uh, yeah, man. 154. Who else is there? It's just Crawford's. He's
Virgil
still good.
Ortiz, maybe Virgil.
Virgil. Oh yeah, there's Virgil, but I feel like
Bro,
he
even
lost his
even
last
what's
fight.
his name? Even
I feel like.
Virgil's opponent, is he ever gonna come back? Mantis Stanionis?
Oh yeah, Stanionis is still there too. Um,
Sorta.
Kinda. He's like too inactive for me. He's too inactive. So I just feel like there's that Jesus Ramos versus Charlo. Finally, we get a good fight. Out of Charlo. So he's moving down though. So how is that gonna affect him? So I feel like oh, I think he's favored. They're saying that he would be favored, bro,
Who?
to Jesus Ramos. I think the betting lines. I heard somewhere like they said that like on social media they said that Ramos is favored if the fight
Favored
were to happen.
against Jermel Charlo.
Yep, by
Eh,
knockout.
all right. Whoa. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
probably doing some background work on his, like, post Canelo life. You know how reckless those guys are.
yeah, yeah. So it's like fuck, man.
Well, you know what? Good riddance, man. Good riddance. Look, the baby Charlo, he was always good, right? I always liked him. He was less emotional than the older guy. Well, actually, it was funny because at first the little guy was the more emotional of the bunch. The big guy was the guy who always checked him. Then the big guy's the one who became more reckless and emotional. And then the little guy started to big brother him. It was pretty ridiculous. But now it's like, okay, you know what, guys? Listen, you guys had the world on your look. These guys are two good looking twins, right? That's a crazy thing to have in the sport of boxing. Two very skilled, good looking twins, black man that could actually make something of themselves. In fact, one of them did. Both of them did. One guy became undisputed, the other guy became a champion. And you would think that these guys had everything going for them to become success stories. And look what they did. They get a little power, a little attention. They start becoming clothing models, drunkards, fighting with their wife, always making the rounds because of bad news surrounding them. Like, bro, these guys are the kind of people that, you know, people will look up to them. Black people might want to look up to them and say, you know what? If you just dedicate yourself to sports, keep your nose clean, you can make it to the top. You can make millions. Look at the Charlos. These guys prove it that once you get there, like Andy Ruiz, you just get all fat and lazy and complacent, and then you just give up the ghost, bro. It's like if these guys lose convincingly, you know what? I don't mind it
Look,
if they walk away from the sport. I don't even need to see
oh
them anymore.
Charlo.
Well, maybe not Baby Charlo, because I mean,
So
we
no,
have to give him a
there's
chance.
but there's a big difference between. I think Jermel gets a bad rep because of his brother, bro. Like
Yeah.
this is the more focused Jermel. This is the more this one's actually in the gym. Being active. It's just not fighting. It's just at least he's not like his other brother. I think his other brother's still not in the
He's the-
gym like that, bro. Like,
yeah.
or his twin brother. My bad. Um, but yeah, he said, "Don't call a man baby Charlo. What the fuck wrong with you, Speed?"
Baby Charlo. Hey, baby.
But yeah, no, Jamel's the more focused one. So,
Yeah.
um, eh, eh, dude, this is boxing, bro. Like, it's not all about you know, power, speed. Like, I feel like Jamel has good IQ, bro, and if he gets this dub, bro, like it's gonna prove that, bro. Like I feel like he has the range to beat him every single round. But that's if we get the old Charlo, that's if we get the old Charlo, and who knows. So I'm pretty sure fucking Jesus Ramos would be favored, but I don't know, man. I'm rooting for Jermel. I really want him to um exceed expectations and solidify his like Hall of Fame career, bro, because he's there. I think once he retires, he's solidified himself. Even if um you know lost to Canelo, and as bad as he looked, you got to give him props, I guess, for going up at 168 and risking his life against a hard hitter like Granello, bro, because he'll spark you out, bro. You could have put him to sleep with the
And
right
he
punch.
couldn't actually do that. That's how ring savvy. That's
That's
how
how,
good his
yeah,
ring IQ
you can look
was.
at it that way too. That's how ring savvy he is. That's how aware he is. But you gotta be able to give some, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
So,
bro, like, well,
do you
I feel like,
remember?
yeah.
Do you
Go ahead.
remember, Dream, how heavy younger Charlo walked in against Canelo? Do you know what his weight was? Was it like 164?
Who?
young Charlo when he walked up to Canelo? How much did he weigh at the fight?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, because
What time are you talking? I don't know. What time are you talking about?
well, you know, at the weigh-in, right?
Oh, at the
Like,
weigh-in.
yeah. Because I
They
mean,
weighed
at
in
the day
around
of
the
the
same.
fight, he probably blew up to like 180 or something. But I mean, like,
Oh,
you know, like, because Canelo obviously came in like at 167. I wonder how much Charlo walked in. Probably like 164.
no,
No.
167 probably. I don't know.
Okay, well
I don't
then
know.
it
I
is
think
going to be hard for him to come back down to 154. See, because if he had kept it somewhere like 162 or whatever, and just let Canelo come up there so that he could meet him halfway, then you know just going over 150, you know 154. If he came in like a 160, 161, then he could have come back down, you know, to 154 much quicker than having blown up to like closer to 168, you see. um but yeah, all those things factor in, right? The sacrifice of nutrition, all the things that you have to do to lose weight in order to come back down to 154, and the long layoff. I could definitely see why Abel Ramos could be looked at as the favorite.
yeah, I just feel like it does something to your body. Like I feel like Jamel uh didn't do too much like bodybuilding or weightlifting. And I felt like he thought he had the speed to deal with him, and I think he just ate a little more, and wasn't starving. And he just focused on his uh his born strength and not try to you know lift more weight. So I just feel like he wasn't at that weight long enough to really like uh have it like mess with his with the way he moves down to 168, or my bad, 154. So hopefully that's the case. But I want to like, I don't know, did Roy Jones Jr. Stay at light heavyweight for a long time, or it was just one fight, huh? I
Yeah,
think it was one fight.
he I think he walked in at 156 or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pulling for Jamal. I mean for Jamel. I'm also pulling for Jamal too. But he's just fucking I don't know what it is, man. He's drinking too much, man. So I'm hearing he's not even focused, and I'm hearing that just through like podcasts and what I see through social media and all this stuff. So yeah, man. I know. Oh yeah, Jamal has to fight Plant. It's just I want Jamal to be the best Jamal. I want him to go back to the who he used to be. I feel like he's like young enough to do that. So uh, it's just time is ticking.
Yeah.
Time is ticking, and you're only getting older, and it's just who knows, man. When you gotta lose. Oh shit, you gotta lose that mindset. Of just drinking, man. I don't know how one drinks as much. I hate drinking, but
Well, as a person that drank for let me see, since I was 13, stopped when I was like 39, 40. As somebody, yeah, the drink is tough to give up, man. So, you know, and especially when you have you know, marital problems or whatever, I can just imagine how hard it must be to have a nagging lady just going over there and just I don't even know, man. I don't even know. But yeah, it's definitely hard to give up the drink. Dream, do you have Amazon Prime?
nah,
Okay, so you didn't see Tim Sue?
nah, I streamed it.
Okay. American boxing fan. Typical. So okay, one of the things that stood out, right, when I was trying to watch boxing over the weekend was how many events Amazon Prime hosted last week. Amazon Prime hosted 3 boxing events, bro. That was crazy in one weekend. One of those was,
Yeah,
of course, the PBC. I think maybe 2 of them were the PBC and another off brand or something. There was 3 events that Amazon Prime hosted. Does that
damn.
surprise you? Does that surprise you that they're so heavily invested in the sport of boxing?
No, no, does not.
because because why? You think their contract with the PEBC is looking promising, or they just want
Oh,
to like corner the
not,
market?
I don't know. With Amazon, I mean that's Jeff Bezos' money, bro. Like he's he's just pouring money into this, you know. So the way they move though is a little weird, you know, right? Because they promised a certain amount of fights. I think it was like last year, and they didn't give us none of it, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Like they just pick and choose how to promote their fights, you know, and it's inconsistent, you know. So I don't know. I don't really think too much of them. Like I don't really network gangbang and none of that, you know. Like I don't really care. Just put the fight on.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more like I wonder if we're gonna have to subscribe to another platform because
Oh,
I'm
me
thinking,
no.
man,
Yeah, yeah. No, I see what you're saying because it's a lot more money, bro, just to be a boxing fan.
yeah, it's
You know, that's why
ridiculous.
all you gotta do, man, just ask for the link and I'll send it to you, man, because that's how I get my money's worth.
Yeah, no, you know what, man? I know there's ways. I know there's ways. Um, you know what's it called? I
I
was
don't buy
at a,
none of it. Ever
I,
since I got this laptop, I just screen mirror on my laptop and I put any fight on
yeah,
whenever I
no,
want.
I was at a party over the weekend for one of my uncles,
Mm.
who turned 55. Um, very a very big close knit family. It was a very nice event. But of course I was missing boxing because I knew Team Sue was going to be fighting, and I wasn't really, again, too interested in it, just because I was like, boy, I haven't heard who of Bakram Martizaliev, right? I just knew that he was undefeated. I knew that he was the champion after beating Jack Colkay, but Jack Colkay is nearly 40. I haven't seen Jack Colkay fight in years. He's never actually become a champion. He's just an experienced fighter, right? And I was like, okay, whoever this guy became a belt holder from at 154 after Jermel Charlo abandoned the belts, he probably got it off an easy vacancy against an older fighter. So why should we be impressed, right? I wanted to see Timmy just go over there and like blow the guy away. It was surprising because that's not what happened. But long story short, I was at this party and I wanted to watch boxing, and I told one of my cousins there, and he said, well, I got Verizon and I guess he's got like a programming, right? Or whatever. I believe he streamed it. And I
Oh,
was watching from his little device, his telephone, and I was feeling like, okay, so this is what the majority of people do when they're saving their money. Because I spend every single buck on boxing, But
man.
yeah, I,
Hey,
I don't think I'm.
did you
Mhm.
really think when Dana White said they're gonna come and get you that you think they're really gonna come and get you? Like, like, bro, like you can stream all this stuff, dude. That's free money right there, man. It's like it's too expensive to be a boxing fan.
No,
You
it's
know,
not.
up until they make it like cheap enough for me to be like, "Well, why not? Why not buy it? You know, like then I can be like, I'm gonna just buy it, you know, and not worry about buffering or none of it, you know.
Yeah, so I that's the reason why I actually pay-per-view, right?
I gotta blow
Um,
my nose. Hold on.
you got Domino's.
No, I gotta blow my nose.
Oh, I thought you said Domino's. You got Domino's? Give me some. Um, yeah, no, I love sponsoring their sport. I want these guys. I think about my son every time I pay for a fight. I think one day I might see my son in a fight, at a pay-per-view. I wouldn't want to cheat these guys out of their hard-earned money or whatever. But that's just the way that I feel, and I don't really like to steal. I feel guilty. That Catholic remorse or whatever that makes us feel bad about doing things like, you know. I don't even want to say it, but yeah, there's a lot of conscientiousness, a lot of things that hold me back from doing those kind of things. And I think one of those, just to convince myself, is buffering. I don't want to have to watch a stream where something buffers. I miss the action because that's usually when it happens. But The Mexican Jesus, I've never seen the fight. I support the fighters. Yeah, that's great. The Mexican, in fact, one of our other listeners, Mr. Vince Vargas, who's not here with us, he actually doesn't watch any the zone fights. He doesn't, none of them, right? Because he's a big, ESPN fan. He subscribes to ESPN channel, ESPN Plus, and that's probably all that he's interested in. And if it doesn't come out and that, he doesn't watch it, right? I'm sure that he has ways of illegally streaming, but he's never once talked about a fight that did not take place on ESPN because he just doesn't stream it, right? He doesn't like to cheat these guys, and he'll just pay for what he gets, and he gets it, he gets it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Me, unfortunately, I don't, or fortunately, whatever you want to, however you want to take it, I don't have any other interest in sports. Like, for example, football. I gave that up a long time ago when I was going to college. Baseball, I only watch it at the end because I don't have any other programming. Hockey, I go watch it in person. Um, and that's it. Most of the time it's just boxing, my own device. I don't go to the movies, I don't watch television, I don't watch movies. The last movie I watched was I think Paranorman on the theaters. I think that's like a 10-year-old movie or whatever. But otherwise, boxing is all that I spend money on for entertainment. And it's only what, like $15 on ESPN. um 25 bucks on the zone, so maybe 40 bucks is what I'm dishing out, and the occasional pay-per-view. So I could probably get a good enough, a good amount of boxing for maybe $100 a month. So yeah, no, it's hey, some of us can get away with it. I could probably save myself the money, like Dream says, but well, I just don't do it. Yeah, Dream. Any good fights coming up, man?
That's $400 right there a year.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Well, actually it's 480, but then the pay-per-views that we buy over the years is probably like 4 or 5. So we're probably looking at like $750 a year
Yep.
on boxing, yeah. And not even talking about the local events that we go and frequent. Um
Hmm.
my son may fight at these local events, but they charge us too. He's fighting, but I gotta make
Yeah,
myself the corner guy, bro, so I can get in there for free.
I know. Yeah, that's crazy. You're just like, uh, I'm the fighter. Oh, you gotta pay now to get
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, no, no, bro. That's how they did it at that lowrider show, the Tavares family lowrider event. Like,
Mhm.
my son and I, we actually had to, like, there was no ins and outs. And I'm like, bro, we have the jackets. We have the gym jackets. What are you talking about? Like, they were being hard asses about it, but everything's a buck. Everything's about money. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna put my son up there to bleed for free. What are you talking
For
about? So
real.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. But the guy understood. The lady wasn't. She wasn't having it. But the man was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, bro."
crazy.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
no.
Any good fights coming up or what?
Yeah. This weekend, uh, let me check. Oh yeah. Okay. So, Regis versus Catterall.
Oh, wow.
I believe that's this weekend. I may.
No, you're right.
Am I?
Yeah, you're right. I get the zone emails. It's this weekend. Let me ask you just to be quick. Who's gonna win that?
I think Catterall. Catterall by decision. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, that's on the 26th. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I think Catterall by decision, man. I think Catterall's um the Catterall has good boxing ability. Regis is too flat footed for him. I think he outworks him for 12 rounds. I don't think he has the power to really hurt Regis, but
Mhm.
never know. But I've seen a footage of Regis change it up a little bit, and he actually like has like fluid movement, and it was noticeable, you
Yeah,
know.
he
That
looks so good, so
but to
sharp,
me,
bro.
it looked like the old Regis because I feel like Regis really got more and more flat footed and got less and less discipline um with his footwork throughout the years, because he relies so much on his power. Um, I always felt like he's had those fluid movements. He just kind of lost it a little bit, and I think this is a combination of both, right? Of him having power with it, and he has speed. Um, so I feel like Rigas has a good chance of knocking dude out, bro. But I may be wrong, you know. So I'm not betting any money on it. I'm just pulling for Rigas. But Catterall by decision. That's my gut right there by decision. So what about you?
Yeah. So, oh man, I want Regis to win this one because I don't like Jack Catterall style, bro. I mean, he's
It's
man.
annoying.
It is annoying. It is annoying. And when I think about Jack Catterall, I think about how badly would I get my ass beat by this guy, right?
It's like this. They beat you in this really annoying way where they think they're on top of the world. Where it doesn't feel like they beat you. They just I don't know. They just prima donnas for me, and it's just like they're meant for they like they like to bring that amateur style uh to the pros and see they've seen it work at the highest levels, but I just feel like this weight class is just not it, bro. Dudes like Tyson Fury can do that, but like pity patty with you and just kind of have weak ass head movement. Jack Catterall has. I'm not saying Jack Catterall has bad head movement. I'm just saying, um, you got to come with some pop. You can't just uh have intentions of going the distance and having intentions on being the best. I feel like you gotta. I feel like you're boxing. If you're such a good boxer, you should be able to put these guys away. Like a Abdullah Mason, he's just the prime example, bro. Like he's just boxing and minding his own business, and he gets the knockout. And he doesn't go, he just drops him, bro. He either drops him to the body, drops him to the head, and he's just like, all right, here, that's another one. But Jack
Yeah.
Catterall, he intends to go the distance all the time,
Yeah.
and I feel like Rigas has a good opportunity to catch him off guard. You know,
Yeah. Look at these guys. They're actually pretty funny, bro. It's true. So the Mexican cheese says he says Regis is done. Getting whooped by Haney was the end for him. And the homie Ricky says, ha ha ha, ha, what the F? Ha, ha, ha." And that's true, bro. In hindsight, everything, everything about Regis getting beat by Devin Haney, in hindsight, right, looks so bad on him, bro. So bad on him. Remember,
well,
this guy.
that was just one fight, though. It's
Yeah,
crazy
no,
that
it
you're
is.
throwing
And I
away.
think it's his only loss, right? It's his only
Yeah,
loss, Regis.
no,
Okay, no?
no, he
Oh,
lost
no,
to
no,
Josh.
Josh Taylor. Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
Taylor. And so I guess you can say here's the thing. This is the flip side, right? You can say that Regis Prograis only gets beat by undisputed fighters.
true. I
Yeah,
guess you
yeah.
could say
So
that.
there you go, Mexican. There you go, homie Ricky. You guys are trying to downplay my boy Regis, the Rue Guru. Come on, man. Give this guy credit. He only loses to undisputed fighters. He says, "Oh wow, the Mexican Chief goes off harder." He says, "Not only did he get beat by Haney, he got dropped." Man, I forget about that. That's true. He actually dropped him. There was another round later on in the fight that he was actually gonna drop him again. He really tumbled him. Man, that's crazy. And the homie Ricky actually answered by saying, "Facts. I think Jack knocks Regis out." Now, I'm not gonna watch that fight. Dream. You know why?
Right.
So I, my wife is a big fan of a band. It's like a psychedelic hippie Latin oldies band called Chicano Batman. If you guys have never heard of Chicano Batman, they're from I think from Southern California, city of Los Angeles, or one of those little hubs of music. And Chicano Batman has been around for close to 2 decades as a band. Probably has around 6, 7 albums. All of them are great albums if you like listening to like that modern oldies, pasteles verdes, those kind of, you know, Mexican, Chicano, Peruvian oldies type of sound with a lot of, I don't know, reverb, echoey type of guitar, just crazy stuff. Very, very good music. And Chicano Batman is on their last tour. They called it an indefinite hiatus. That means basically they're retiring. They're not too sure when they might ever get back, if ever, to perform, right? Now, I did not know anything about it. All I said is that they're coming to a local college, UCSC, UC Santa Cruz, and the tickets were $45. So, and they had these old OD bands like the Altons, the Sinceres. That if you guys know who the Sinceres are, their male singer is Joey Quinones, who's a big, modern OD singer. Great guy, incredible. The Sinceres are great. And Chicano Batman, the Altons, and the Sears, all for $45 in the middle of the forest, in an amphitheater, in the hippie city of Santa Cruz. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, right? So I'm gonna be there on the 26th, watching one of the last two or three performances of this band, the Chicano Batman. Unfortunately, yes, I am likely gonna miss Regis Prograd, Regis Ruguru, Fight Jack, El Gato Cateral, but whatever, right? I
Cateral?
never. Well, he's Spaniard, right? Like he
Oh,
speaks Spanish or what?
no, I don't think so.
Are you sure?
British.
His name is El
British.
Gato,
Yeah, British.
and he calls himself Cateral or something. Well, anyways,
Cateral.
oh, okay, Catterall. Well, he's. I hope he loses, man. I hope Regis can bounce back from that loss with Haney. I know he had another bad performance against Daniel Sorrilla. What a horrible fight that was, man. Daniel Sorrilla, is such a stinker, bro. Like, man, I hate those guys that are always just moving back into the ropes and just, making you miss and won't throw punches back. It's like, man, why are you doing it for? But anyways, I really hope Ruguru takes this win, man.
Yeah, no, I think he has a good chance, but my gut tells me Cateral by decision. He probably is a little too fast for him, um, a little too quick for him. I just feel like he gets outboxed, gets beat to the punch, all that good stuff. So
And not only
he
that,
beats him. He beats him. The you know to the race to 7. Pretty much, he's not gonna hurt him. I don't see that happening. It's just I don't see him being this washed up fighter anymore. Like, he's never shown me he's had a weak chin. I just feel like he's always been flat footed, and it just makes your chin look bad, you know. Yeah. So um he has a good chance as just I just feel like Catterall, yeah, I see what you guys are saying as far as like him not hurting him but outboxing him. But I guess he tries to do what Devin does, but he does that at a lower level,
uh,
but Devin manages to actually get the right angles in these instances where he's falling for a trap, and he gets him at a weird angle, connects at a weird angle, and gets him off balance, and he drops him. Catterall is kind of he's not that um he doesn't execute that well, not as well as Devin, So I feel like Catterall still has the hand speed over Regis and has a footwork over Regis.
true.
So
And
uh,
he's got youth because Regis is like 38, 39, bro.
yeah, it's just Devin's at another level, So I feel like it's. I think uh doing a little too much hoping because out of Regis, but because if we get the old Regis, then he has a good chance. It's just he hasn't done that in a while as far as fighting at a certain level.
Hmm.
He needs to show me, and it's kind of hard for me to say you know with my chest out and you know and saying like yeah he's gonna definitely gonna do it. It's like I can't say it. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Mexican G brings up a very good point, and actually, it just actually highlights how potentially explosive and dynamic the 140-pound division is. He says, and Haney got beat So of course he talks about how Regis Prograis lost to Haney. Haney got beat by Ryan Garcia, and Regis had the nerve to say that he would smoke Rayo Venezuela. Rayo Venezuela, who actually beat a Pitbull Cruz, who moved up to 140. Right? I think Pitbull became the champion at 140, and then Rayo went over there and beat him. Well, I think beat is too harsh a word. I don't really think he beat Pitbull. I believe it was probably a draw, in my opinion. Yeah, a lot of people like facial shots more than, let's say, body shots. I actually approve of body shots, and I actually approve of a fighter bringing the pressure. So in that case, I would even say that Pitbull Cruz should have won. But it's just that those very clean landed body facial shots and counters from Rayo, really looked very good on him. But he says this, and we just had the nerve to say that he would smoke Rayo Venezuela. No mames, way. Let me ask you, can we just actually beat Rayo?
No, no.
Oh, wow. Wow,
Uh,
man. Regis just fell back, bro. What about this? Can Devin Haney beat Rayo?
yeah,
All right. All right. All right. All right.
yeah.
All right.
Stylistically, yeah. It's just with Regis,
Oh,
I
come
feel like
on.
he has a better puncher's chance with and I'm only saying that based off of his last performance. Um, so he can show me something different in this fight. You know, it's just yeah, it's hard for me to say he beats Ryo when Ryo's been the more active fighter, and he has a belt, and he beat the dude that a come forward fighter uh in Pitbull. Something Regis ain't. Regis thinks he punches harder than Pitbull, and he thinks he can set it up to where one shot's enough to drop you, but it's not. Regis got to have more output. So not unless he shows me more output, then I see him beating Ryo. But no, Ryo's been on top of his game. He's been more consistent, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
the at 140 is a very explosive, dynamic division. I believe as explosive as 154.
it's
Man,
a tweener division. I think the best. It's a weird weight class. I feel like these guys are kind of stuck in the middle, like between having too much power and having too much, uh, speed. But I don't know. Like I feel like, and not enough power. So like the thing is, the increments you move up, it changes from 5 pounds to 7 pounds after 140. So you never really see a 140 pounder without him having length moving up to 147. They got to have length. They got to, in order to move up to 147. Um, and it has to do with, the science, bro. Like if you have a long reach, then I can reach you and I can beat you in rounds. But it's such a complicating. I feel like it's such a dudes are like uh stuck, right? Like I feel like there's no one dominant because of it. Um, I just feel like moving up from 140 to 147 is just too big of a jump. You got to be extra special to do that jump. Like, can you name somebody besides Tank that can move up to 140 from that's good at 140 to that can move up to 147?
uh, bless you.
Not really.
That, yeah,
You know, that's like
tough question to answer.
you can say you can call out a lot of dudes that can move up from 135 to 140. That's only 5 pounds. Shoot, if anything, that's what, four. You
Yeah,
know, so um, yeah, it's just I don't I'm not hating on this division. It's just these guys are I don't look at these guys as like the best fighters. As far as like pedigree and all this stuff, but it should be a good fight.
yeah,
147 though is such a glamour division. It's like I feel like all those guys. If you're good at 147, then you can be good at 154. You
yeah.
know?
The funny thing is, everywhere you look, Um, at 147, there's no longer glamour right now. There's nobody. Boots, he ain't glamorous. Um, uh, El Azteca, Mario Barrios, he ain't
Well,
glamorous.
the thing is,
Um,
I'm average human height, bro. Like most humans are walking around my height at 5'9", 5'10".
yeah,
Like that's me, that's Boots. Like I feel like that's if you can hit 147, the best 147 pounders in the world are actually like peak human. I feel like there's a reason why Canelo gets too tired at 168, and he's been doing this for decades. You'd expect him to have all the wind in the world, but the thing is, science comes into play. You're too small. You have too much muscle. You're carrying all that muscle, and you can't. You can't. There's only so much blood that can need that. It needs to supply all that muscle. Not enough going to your brain. It's like I feel like 147 is like the best. Is the prime is a prime human being. To me at least, as far as a boxer. But that's why I always feel like naturally that 147 pounder will gravitate to the public, because it takes a real special dude to be the best at 147. If you can be the best at 147, I feel like you punch hard enough for 154 and 160. I just feel like 168 is a little different, but um, it's science, bro. I feel like Boots. That's what I'm saying. Boots. That's him. That's him, bro. 154. 154, 160. I can see him doing that.
that's a
It's
very
really
persuasive argument, bro. That's a very good way of putting it. Like, according to the average height of man at their physical peak of exercise and fitness, uh the 150 147 is what it would look like. Yeah, maybe you're absolutely right, bro, because at 147 you're at 5'9", you're gonna be absolutely chiseled and fit and svelte and muscular and quick. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're pretty much right, bro. I
yeah.
never even thought of it like that. I just thought most of it would be glamorous, as a glamour weight, just on the fact that we have so many fighters that have fought at that division that have just been legends, right? And yeah, I never thought of the reason why they became legendary, why they look
Not
so
too many.
capable.
Not too
Yeah,
many 168 pounders. Like they had to make that division. I forget at one point at one time there wasn't a 168 pounder. Like they probably I don't know. Like I'm not a historian, but like there's you hear some 175 pounders, but I just feel like you know Muhammad Ali was a real short heavyweight. But he had good boxing ability. So
true. Look
yeah,
at Mexican boxing number one. Good even for to you. He brings up fighters such as Raul Curiel or Salas. What was it? Who? What's his first name? Salas. Is it Ismael Salas? Um, no, Ismael Salas is a trainer, right? Who destroyed Roman Villa. Better. Let's see what he can. I think he's talking about Boots. Let's see what he can do against Karen First. Well, we already know what he did against Karen First, the Mexican. He Boots, Jaron Boots Ennis looked booty. He looked like a guy who couldn't cut off the ring, and even when he could get his man to the ropes, the man was feeling very comfortable on the ropes, just making him miss. And in fact, I always said that if Karen Chukchensian had just thrown a couple of counters as Boots winded up to throw those haymakers that he obviously missed against Karen, that he would have easily won that fight. On a very boring type of fight, right? Because Karen wasn't letting his hands go. In fact, all he was doing is just making Boots miss. The few punches that he did land, he would land them clean, but they were obviously ineffectual and weak, because that's what happens with mobile, backwards footed fighters. They throw punches, but they really don't have much power behind them. That's why Sandro Martin was able to flash knock down Teofimo Lopez, but he could never really hurt him. because he was always in the back foot, losing that momentum. So yeah, the one thing that Karen did good is that he fought well against the ropes and making the guy miss, right? But yeah, we'll see how he does. But otherwise, I mean, look, I would say that a guy who comes forward already has the advantage just off of the optics. But of course, that's where we draw that fine line, right? Was Boots doing anything to win and separate himself convincingly as the winner that night against Karen Chikchansian? And I don't think he did. I think Karen should have maybe eked out a win. As horrible as that fight was, maybe he should have had in the draw because nobody deserved to be a winner in that fight. It was a very, very horrible matchup, very, very bad. And I'm glad that they gave Boots the opportunity to run it again with Karen because he really has to clear that name out of there. He cannot afford to move on with his career having a Karen Chikchansian performance without redeeming himself and going over there and beating this guy convincingly and hoping to stop him. So I know that a natural fighter with power like Jerron Boots Ennis, he's definitely working cutting off the ring, going to the body against the mobile rope clinging fighters like Chasian. And I believe Boots Ennis will this time around stop him, especially since Chasian is so reluctant to throw punches. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that fight right there, Mexican. Um, Dixon Cider. What about? Oh man, yeah. What do you think about that guy? Dream Mexican Chi brings up another fighter of 147, Dixon Cider. What do you
Is
think
that
about
is that
Cider?
is that apple cider's cousin? No.
No, no, no. It's Dixon. You know Dixon Cider.
Okay.
Dixon Cider. Yeah, yeah, Dixon Cider, Dixon all around her. Oh my god, man, these guys are hilarious. Homie Ricky didn't get it. He put three question marks right there. Come on, homie Ricky, you don't know
I
nothing
know.
about
He's like,
Dixon
I'm
Cider.
lost.
He doesn't know nothing about Dixon Cider.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh
Hey,
my
why don't you
goodness.
go tell him? Why don't you go tell him who Dixon Cider is? Or
Yeah, Dixon Cider is undisputed Peter weight. He's bantamweight. You know what they call bantam weight in Spanish?
hmm,
Peso gallo. You know how
hmm,
you say gallo in English?
who?
Gallo. How do you say gallo in English?
Rooster?
And how else?
Cock?
Yeah, he's the cock weight. Oh my god, man. You guys are making me bad. I'm actually cursing and everything. But man, you guys are horrible, horrible. Yeah, Karen versus Boots. Karen, Karen in the boots. Terrific fighter. He's still in the up and coming. He's on the up and coming, man. He's on the up and coming, bro. Dixon Snyder is on the up and coming. Man, this is these guys are hilarious. Look, Dream, I'm gonna tell you one thing, bro. This year is shaping up to be an excellent year of boxing. It's incredible. We have so many good fights to look forward to. The involvement of Turkey at Sheik investing in these fights, making it so easy for us to get some of the best fights on the cheap. It's very, very impressive. If you don't mind me just picking your brain for 5 more minutes, man, and then I swear I'll call it a day. One of the fighters that's been continuously blowing up my channel has been none other than Benjamin Whitaker. Ben Whitaker, the silver Olympian medalist from UK, who's very flamboyant, very cocky in the ring, very skillful, and he's been looked upon as the next Prince Nassim, right? Now, up until this past weekend, that's how he was doing, right? He was fighting these fights, making himself, look very showy. He was, walking with his hands down, throwing punches from all angles. And then I remember the fight before this one over the weekend. He was trying to be show offy, but the other guy was just bringing the pressure, and he was having some success. Whitaker won, but barely. Now, this weekend he fought some guy named Liam Cameron, a guy that was equally as tall as him, lanky as him, fit like him, just had more years of experience as a pro. 33 years of age. Benjamin Whitaker is 27, right? Now, it ended in the 5 rounds of what was it, 8, 10 round fight. And in my opinion, Ben took the first two. Then the second two, Liam started to take it. The fight ended right before the conclusion of the fifth when Liam and Ben Whitaker fly out the ring. Right, that video that we uploaded on the Warp Speed channel by the Screaming Madman has been gaining an attraction of an average of 5,000 views a day. It's incredible. I thank the Screaming Madman for helping blow up my channel. Now, did you get to see that fight?
No, the Cameron versus
Yeah, Ben
Whitaker.
Whitaker versus Liam Cameron.
No, no. I actually tuned in when right when he was outside the ring.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people are calling Ben Whitaker a quitter. In fact, they've nicknamed them Ben Whitaker because they're saying that when he flew out the ropes, because Liam Cameron pushed him out the ropes, and they both, because they're very tall guys, they both went over the ropes, landed on their turnbuckle, or the other side of the ring, and Ben Whitaker allegedly he injured his ankle, and he was carted off in a wheelchair. But people started to slow motion the video, and they say that nowhere did his foot ever hit the ring or bend it anywhere in order for him to call it a a reason for him to stop the fight, right? Nonetheless, it took longer than a minute for them to both compose themselves and get back in the ropes. The bell rung for the start of the sixth, and both of them were still out the ropes. They didn't know if they were gonna fight. Ben Whitaker gets on the ropes first, but he's like stretching and complaining about pain. Liam walks over there, hanky dory, waiting to continue the fight, and they called it a fight that concluded in the 4 rounds. The fifth did not become official. 2-2 majority draw. Now, let me ask you, Dream. In my opinion, Liam Cameron, he was being dirty, right? He was hitting behind the head in the clinch. He actually clotheslined the guy, like he put his forearms, like pushed Ben Whitaker right underneath the neck. And of course, he ended up pushing him all the way out to the ropes from like halfway of the ring, pushed him all the way to the ropes, all the way till they both fell. Let me ask you something. If you were Ben Whitaker, would you have gotten back in the ring and said, okay, let this guy continue to fight me dirty? Let this guy do whatever he wants. The ref ain't going to do anything about it. Would you continue to fight, or would you have forfeited and decided not to continue like Ben Whitaker did?
I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. Say that question again.
If somebody clotheslines you, hits you behind the head, and pushes you out the ropes intentionally, are you going to get back in the ring and say, okay, cool, let's go back at it? Even after the round ends, the whole minute break ends, and you're supposed to get back under, are you gonna fight after a guy just pushed you out the rings where you could have almost broken your neck or broken your leg or whatever?
Yeah, if I feel like I was whipping his ass before, yeah.
Unfortunately, let's say that the last 2 rounds you were getting your ass whooped.
Nah, I'll probably like go to the scorecard.
Okay, if 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 somebody called you a quitter, what would your excuse be? What would you say to a person that's calling you a quitter after a guy is fighting dirty, and he pushes you out the ropes where you could have seriously injured yourself? Would you have told him something to the effect of like, "Bro, I'm not gonna let a cheater come over here and beat me," right? Or or are you gonna do what they say? Oh, you quit because you decided that the fight was too tough. Like, I don't know, bro. I completely understand Ben Whitaker not choosing to continue the fight if this guy is doing everything illegally and dirty to harm me. I would not have allowed the guy to continue on doing that for any more rounds, because obviously he was there not to necessarily win the fight. He was there to bully me around with illegal tactics. Why would I want to continue to fight a guy that's hitting me in the back of the neck, pushing me out the rope where they flew out, and putting his forearms under my neck? Why would anybody want to subject themselves to that?
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, I know. She'd be knocked out by Micho, Micho Rizzo.
I'm sorry. Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
Nah, bro, no, this is too good. Let's read this.
Oh
Uh,
shit. I'm
I
sorry. I
want to
was so
see
switch
Mike
actors,
Hawk.
bro.
I want to see Mike Hawk. He wants to fight Ebony Bridges. Yeah, even myself was like, bro, Mike Hawk wants to fight Ebony Bridges, but yeah, it is October. I want Alicia Bumgardner. Yeah, Alicia Bums. You want to see Alicia's bum?
Yep.
Alicia want to stand a chance against Mike Hawk. Nah, she be KO by me Chorizo. I want to see Ebony Bridges and Bumgarner, but not in no boxing ring. Man, you know, yeah, that's a crazy. Now, oh, how about
Sorry,
this
man.
one? Sky Nicholson.
Sky Nicholson.
Yeah,
Nah, I think she's a little too cocky. She's too cocky
I
as
don't
far as
like her.
yeah, I don't like her either. Yeah, I thought it was the only one. She's kind of I find her a little annoying. You know, she's not even she I mean she is the like one of the better boxers in her division.
She's boring.
Um she's boring. She's just too cocky, man. You're not supposed to be cocky when you're not knocking people out, you know?
Exactly, bro. She's basically the Shakur Stevens of female boxing, except Shakur Stevens actually moves up in weight and knocks out some dudes or knocks them. This one literally fights off backward step and a jab, bro. Like the most, and always fighting smaller people. Like, man, I don't like her, bro. She's so boring. I've never watched one exciting fight. Actually, the only exciting fight that I watched was that one fight where she had with an Argentinian fighter, the one where the Argentinian's trainer and husband had a heart attack right there in the corner and died. That's the only fight
Mhm.
that I think I actually like enjoyed anything about it, and I don't think it was because of Sky Nicholson. I think it was because the other lady was coming to fight. But otherwise, this fighter is one that I don't want to watch ever at all, bro. Like literally so bad, and she wants to fight Amanda Serrano. Like literally, Amanda Serrano's already penciled in for the rematch against Katie Taylor in one of the fights of the years.
That's the
Contender
fight
of
I
lot of
want.
yeah, exactly. Now I'm supposed to want to watch you put on the stinker against one of the most exciting fighters out there just because you want to? Nah, bro, I'm not gonna pay for that.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, how about we do this? You call it a night and go imagine Mike Chorizo Mike Orizo Mike Orizo versus Alicia Baumgartner.
Oh,
Oh God, man, this is too much, bro. We're
well,
grown
you gonna
men.
keep rambling on or what?
Nah, I'm gonna call it a night, bro. I'm a grown man, bro. You guys are too naughty tonight.
All right, man. Peace out then.
Yeah, peace out. All right, everybody.
Thanks for having
For the homie Ricky, Dream123, and of course myself, your interlocutor, or co-interlocutor for the night, Warp Speed. I bid you adieu. I wish you are well of health and sane of mind. Buenas noches, Mexican G. Buenas noches, Mexican boxing number one, homie Ricky, everybody out there. Good even fall. Engage.